Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is G. Cole, and welcome to Homegrown, where I get to share with you some good music while talking to some great people. Hello world, I hope you're feeling as good as I am. I want to big up all my homegrown listeners out there and welcome all the new listeners. If you haven't yet subscribed, please do so we can keep you updated when new material is available. We will be posting new episodes bi-weekly. Want to thank everyone who has been listening and sharing. Please leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you. Please check out the website homegrownwithgcole.com to listen and for all things homegrown. The podcast is now available on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, TuneIn, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and all your podcast platforms. The video of this interview is also available on YouTube. Please subscribe to the Homegrown with G. Cole YouTube channel. We're also very interactive. Please follow us on Twitter, on Instagram, and on Facebook at MyGCole. This is episode 37, and it's brought to you courtesy of Cloth Talk, creating your own hieroglyphics, talking on fabric. You have something to say? Say it on a t-shirt. I've been using them for the past 7 months, and I love it. You can't beat the professionalism, can't beat the creativity. Call them 954-591-4064. Again, the number is 954-591-4064. Cloth Talk, clothing the world one shirt at a time. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much again for tuning in. Today, my special guest is, and I got a long list, you know what I mean? But I'm just going to give my little piece. CEO, advertising and media consultant, Wiz Communications. Mm-hmm. All right. A gentleman with almost 20 years.
30 years.
See, man, talk about
in the radio industry.
I just took off the 10 because I didn't want to, you know what I mean?
But you know something, though, you are right. It's almost 20 years in South Florida. It's 18 years in South Florida, but I started back up in New York back in 1988, which gives me 30 years.
Wow. Talk about tenure. Tenure, ladies and gentlemen. I love it. I love it. So right now we can't come at you with it all because you've seen it all.
I've seen it all. From
radio to broadcasting, WAVS, WZOP, ladies and gentlemen.
NWK 105.9 FM in New York. That's where I actually started.
That's where you started?
That's where I started.
Where in New York is that?
That was in Manhattan. It's no longer a Caribbean station. But that was the station when I came to New York. Gil Bailey and the rest was on it. Clinton Lindsay.
Oh, that's right.
As a matter of fact, I got my first opportunity in radio through Clinton Lindsay, 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
The Reggae Alert Show. But New York doesn't sleep, so I was cool, but I'm good.
The city that never sleeps for real,
you know
right?
what I'm saying?
Big up Clinton Lindsay.
Big ups.
You know, I tell people this all the time. I used to work for the cruise line, sales and marketing back in the day. Mm-hmm. And started 15, 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. But if you trace it and channel it back to any major cruise line right now, the people who you'll come across all tying together from the origins. You know what I mean? It's all the people used to work at Renaissance and we spread out and branch off. It's almost the same thing with radio. Mm-hmm. When you come across people who are good at what they do in radio and broadcasting, if you have a conversation with them, they all know each other. And at some point in time, they all worked with each other.
Most definitely.
Right.
You are totally correct about that. There's another comrade of ours that does a similar thing to what you do, Sir Rockwell. Not afraid to call him.
Big up Sir Rockwell. Yeah, man, that's our people.
I just read something that he posted recently, and he alluded to the fact that I like the fact that he alluded to the to the people who he looked up to along his journey.
I saw that post. People don't do that enough.
Yes,
people don't do that enough.
I admire that. You know, I've always given Mr. Lindsay his props. I give other people props that don't even talk to me.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I like the way they broadcast, and
so why not?
There you go. So I'm looking at the whatever I can get from that. I won't get into that aspect of it now. I just want to just big up Sir Rockwell for what he has done too with internet radio and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Done a lot.
Yeah.
Done a lot. Mm-hmm. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Norman Lawrence, most of you know him as Homegrown.
Yes, indeed.
Welcome, brother. Officially, welcome.
Thanks. Give thanks.
I appreciate it. You know, amazingly enough, the first time I met you, I don't know if you remember. First time I met you was around 2006.
I remember.
You remember that, right?
I remember.
We had a little record label called Jagaidi Records. We were promoting some music. Spoke to you, and me, Jayu, Jewel, we came down there. All right, we had our CDs.
Yep.
Brought us in. We spoke to you. Very cool, nice atmosphere, welcoming. which was quite deceiving because we thought that's what the industry was. We thought the industry was all humble land.
I hear you.
Turn out it wasn't.
No, sir. That's the thing at all. I try to be a facilitator from that aspect, and I do it intentionally, my friend.
Right.
You know, I tell people all the while that I came as an infiltrator, you know.
Right.
You know, I must say this real quick, that I've been doing radio for 30 years. But radio within itself is not really necessarily my passion.
Right.
My passion is to reach people and to uplift and inspire. So I tell people all the time that, you know, like when you call me for an interview like this, I said to myself, does G. Cole really knows what he's getting into when he brings Homegrown into the studio?
Right.
Because my perspective, it's very different.
But that's what we need, though.
Yeah.
That's what we need. Because here's the deal, and I tell people this all the time, just like for the artists, when it comes to the music is in iTunes, it's on Spotify, it's wherever, especially when it comes to these kids, they can find it. The album comes out today, they got it from yesterday. So bump the music, bump the radio, bump the broadcast. I need them to know you.
Yeah.
That's where the connection is.
Yeah.
Nobody goes and spend $9.99 for the music. They spend $9.99 for connecting with you.
Definitely.
And same thing with, nobody tunes in. We have the tuning app right now with 1 million stations on it. So if they're tuning into you, they're tuning in for you.
Definitely.
So I really appreciate that, and that's what it's about.
Most definitely, my friend. You know something, though? I'd be remiss if I did not at this point say, man, congratulations on what you are doing.
I appreciate it.
I was coming here today and I felt like I should be interviewing you, but this is your show, so I'm going to humble myself. You know what I mean? Because you are also an awesome singer.
Yes.
Does your audience know that, my friend? I mean, do they really know that?
Every now and then we drop something. Because, you know, a lot of time we're trying not to blur the lines, you know, and it came out more likely. Not that we're trying to keep it, you know, on the wraps, but there was one day when, you know, the censorship thing has been getting more strict. So I don't remember which show I was doing, and a lot of the music that I was playing was getting muted and censored, which is good for me because I feel like if that happens, then guess what? Somebody's paperwork is in the right place and they're getting protected. So I don't mind. So I said it was about a half an hour to the rest of the show, and I said, you know what? I'm going to play some G. Cole.
Of course.
They muted me too.
Whoa,
So,
gotcha.
which is cool. It means my paperwork is in order. So but that's when, and I have a single I just dropped, so I've been playing that for the past couple of shows too. So, but I appreciate it, man, because listen, what people don't realize is this: you can't take away somebody's talent, but you can take away their confidence.
There you go.
And my first interaction with people like yourself is what gave us the confidence, right?
Thanks.
We are starting from a record label that we created in the garage.
And I respected that, and that's part of the reason why I was so passionate about trying to give you that service. I'm not even calling it help.
Right. It meant a lot. And it still does. It still does.
I'm sorry not to see that you guys not really together like that anymore.
Funny enough, we are. It's
But
just
in a different
a
way.
different, yeah.
I
Because there's not
understand.
a day that goes by that I'm not in communication with Jay Will or.
Gotcha.
But you know, as evolution takes place, you got the kids, college, all of this stuff.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it. But I also wanted to say in that same remiss prefacing that also for the way that you're doing your thing. Right. You blew my mind. I'm confessing that I told other people in my circle. And I'm going to say why. I never knew that you had this in you, the way you do it, and you do it the right way. There are a lot of people who think they do it, and they're not doing it, not even quarter as, you know. And I don't want to use the term good, because there is a way.
Right.
You get what I'm trying to say?
You.
Sometimes when you say good, it might seem like, oh, we're trying to compete or whatever. No, there's a certain way to do radio.
Right.
I'm pausing now on purpose, because I'm coming with what I really want to say. Also, not only the way you present yourself. I know this was supposed to be about me, but I had to do this,
Right.
Gico.
It's all good. I appreciate you.
The way you present your studio is also very important. I've always said that when I'm going to do something like this, I can just get a laptop and just go on. I can go in my garage. I don't want to do that. I know disrespect to the people that do that.
Right.
As a matter of fact, respect.
Much respect.
You know what I mean? But I like the way you did it. Yes, he's home, of course.
Homegrown.
But I like the way you did. I've always said, this is how I do it. I get a room that looks like somewhat like an office, somewhat like a radio studio reel. Not something that looks like, hey,
No, I
come
got
check
you.
me out in my garage. You know what I'm trying to say?
I understand completely.
And nothing is wrong. I want to re-emphasize with doing it that way, but
Right.
that's how I think. I like to present myself a certain way because I know that I'm not all that good. So that helps to make it up. You know what I'm trying to say?
No, I do not. The thing is, you know what it is though. It's that the last single I dropped till this day, right? The chorus of it pretty much speaks of my grandparents.
Okay.
One of my grandfathers, he was the suited guy. He's a barber, and I've never seen him outside of a suit. But what he taught me pretty much was, he said, dress for the job you want, not the one you have.
Gotcha.
Right? Presentation is everything. Because a lot of times you're good at what you do. But regardless, the Bible says judge not. And we try to teach the judge not principle. We're in the judging business. You know what I mean?
I understand.
You take your child to a certain daycare, you're looking around, you're judging.
We all
Judge. We can't get away from it. So your best bet is, you know what? Presentation is key.
Of course.
Presentation is key. And the other thing too is this. I have done, as you probably know, when it comes to the interviews and promoting music and so forth, I've probably done 1,000 interviews. I tell people this all the time. The interview I did with you, which was interview probably number 1 or 2.
I'm honored, man.
It still stands with me. The late great Rich Davis
Yes,
is another one. Flagger down at WDNA.
To Rich Davis, definitely.
Trust me.
Rest in peace, rise in power.
I was the very last interview he did.
Wow.
Before he passed away.
Okay.
I was at the studio, we did the interview. This is like, because he was on way early. 3 o'clock in the morning, something like that.
Yo, but talking about a broadcaster though.
What? It's people like you guys that make me say, well, it's being done right.
He was awesome.
He was awesome.
And he was a police officer back home. He didn't even go to school for this.
I didn't know until he told me.
He was awesome. He was awesome.
Rest
As
in
a
peace,
broadcaster, I was
big
like,
ups.
yo, Rich
Big
Davis.
ups. Oh, he's the man. He's the man. He did it well.
Of course.
But you guys do it to a level and a standard that, to me, that's what radio is.
I try. I'm not as young as I might come across, even with my white hair, But I'm really coming from the era where the British part of the thing was just getting out of us. So, like the Winston Barnes, who is somebody I respect in broadcasting, they are a little bit ahead of me,
Right.
probably 5 to 10 years, all right? But so I got a little bit of both, because the influence now is either the raw Jamaican style and or the American style.
Right,
but when I was growing up, I'm listening to the British style of broadcasting.
I never thought about it, but that is so true.
It's a perspective. It's age that will help you to give you that kind of perspective. That's also my perspective in the music.
Right.
Industry, which we're going to talk about in a different way. But you see, there's something about the way things developed in Jamaica from the 60s, the late 50s to the 60s, to the 70s, to the 80s. And if you observe, there's always some kind of, I don't want to use the word criteria, but let's say standard
Right.
that the people work with. And it seems like that becomes the beacon for how it should be done.
Right.
You get what I'm trying to say? So I'm saying that back in the days I've done tapping. Hey, I'm Ellie Maruno, and that kind of vibration.
Right.
So I'm listening to all of that kind of stuff, Then I come now into the Barry G, which is not necessarily the British style, but he has it in him too. Because of
Barry G was radio.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then now he come with that, but no, I'm listening to Barry G and I'm really hearing that British. But when I was growing up, I was like, yeah, he hip. Still hip, but I'm just saying, I'm really, as he's get older, I'm hearing like, hi, I'm Barry G.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Come right back down to that professionalism.
He comes right back down, So he's one that I look up to. Winston Barnes, I won't stop calling his name. I used to listen to a lot of Winston Williams. What I admired about Winston Williams was not only his communication skills. What I admire about Winston Williams is the fact that he was always quoting scripture, which is something that people that listen to me know that I do. I do those things on purpose because I hear a lot of people talking all kind of foolishness in between. And no disrespect, but I'm saying that my thing to get into this thing was not to just get popular.
Not just to be on a microphone.
There you go. When I say something, it means something to someone, and that's what it has come to be. And I give to Jabi the glory that I'm just a vessel, but I'm just saying, that's my main purpose of doing things. You feel me?
I got you.
Yes, man.
I got you. You know what I love about that, though? I'm not going to lie. I keep telling some of my kid, I said, listen, if you want to do the job, nobody better to learn it from than the one that's done it before you.
Of course.
And that's, like, I look up to you as one of the benchmarks to it. Because, I came up seeing you. I was outside of radio, and I'm seeing you on radio doing it a certain way. And then now listening to you say, okay, you know what, but guess what? These are the benchmarks that I look up to. Anytime you see somebody that is doing anything, not necessarily radio, not necessarily music, but they're doing anything and they're not doing it well, if you have a conversation, they don't have a benchmark, a standard to which they're trying to adhere.
Most definitely. You always have to, I learn from everybody and everything around me. Another thing I do too, I'm going to confess, or I should say don't do, I don't listen to a lot of people that are in the industry.
Whew. Say that one more time.
I don't.
I love that. That's gospel.
You know why? I love them.
Right.
I don't want to follow them. I want to lead.
Right.
So I might end up doing some things that they do, but when I don't listen to them,
You can't be influenced like that.
I will not be influenced by them. I hear them, don't get me wrong.
Right. And appreciate what they do.
Yes, I hear them, meaning that, if I'm somewhere and I said, oh, that's such and such, oh, that's such and such. Yeah, man, I like the way they do their thing. And I've listened to their show. But in me presenting myself and doing my thing, I keep on my blinds from that purpose. Because, once again, I'm not trying to do what they are doing. And that's one of the reasons why my thing has stood out.
Right.
When I came into this business, Batty, Rider was the number one song by Buju Banton. Or Y'all Me See Rose, me I forget it tonight, by the gun point. Or me I forget it even by knife point or something like that. And I love the artist, I love the arrangement of the song. Young boy, them tiny, but me say, me nah play that.
Right.
So I set a certain standard and people were like, Lion, you're not going to get anywhere. You have a good sound, you're a professional, and you could do very well in this thing, but you're not going to go far doing it like that.
Right.
I am here proudly to say that, guess what? They are wrong.
30 years.
You know why? Because I've tried to get away from this business so many times, and I'm not lying to you. And I've always been pulled back in.
Right.
Literally, and people who know me personally know what I'm talking about. I have left and gone to work at the airport. I've left and gone, did all kind of.
But this business.
And I did not go back and reapply at none of these radio jobs. They call me and say, Norman, we want you, or Humberland, we want you to do the thing that you are doing.
Right.
That's how I'm doing 20 odd hours. What is it? 22 hours of radio per week right now.
Wow.
I don't brag about it.
Right.
But I'm starting to now realize that I need to let people realize it's me. I just hosted the play.
Right. Which was awesome.
The job of the glory, give thanks. The play itself was very awesome. Phenomenal. World premiere. We're going to touch a little bit.
Absolutely. Phenomenal.
But I'm saying that what really got to me is the fact that so many people come to me and say, Lion, we love what you do on the radio. Right. We love the things you say. You inspire me so much. We're talking about police officers. I have their pictures. I have the proof.
Right,
Some people might think that I'm just saying this, but I'm just saying.
Man.
But I'm saying after 30 years, I like that. And I like the kind of responses I'm getting. But for the past 2 years, I'm doing radio the way that I really wanted to do it from 30 years ago.
Wow.
I'm going to explain. When I came in, I tried to just fit in because I know that, consciousness was not needed, desired, or whatever. None at all.
Right.
But I had a mission. So I said, you know something? I'm going to come in as a professional. I went to school for this.
Right.
And I said, I'm going to keep a professional attitude towards the business.
Right.
So I came in as an infiltrator. In my mind, because I come in now, get to the program, and then now, okay, I would go a little bit to the edge so they wouldn't say, oh, he's only doing Rasta music or conscious music. So I'd play some nice love songs. If you have some nice dancehall songs that are not rude or vulgar, or not nothing to do with guns or in it, I'd touch those. And it's radio, so I can get away. It's not the party. You know what I'm trying to say to you? So that's why I did my thing for years. And I was like, yeah, man, Humberland is a cool youth. Yeah, man, Humberland sound good. Humberland is conscious. All right, that's good.
Right.
2 years ago now, I just made up my mind. I said, win, lose, or draw, I'm going to do exactly what I want to do. Breaking the radio rules that I studied, breaking everything and just do exactly what I do, which are things that come to me to say on air, which are things that are in my meditation.
Right.
You know what I mean? Which are things that the thing is that when I was in college, one of the things I used to do on the side is sell books. And I read 3 books that changed my life. I will not mention those 3 books right now. I don't know how viral you want to go. It would make you go very viral. You get what I'm trying to say to you? The powers that be might say, hey.
Net down.
Yes. You know what I'm saying? And then you have the people talk about them online, but I'm saying, I know you're trying to do your thing wholesome in a different kind of a way, right? And I'm like that too, But anyway, I read these 3 books from 1992, 93, that basically told me a lot of things that's going on in the world today.
Wow. From 93.
From 93. So that means a lot of it was planned. You get what I'm trying to say?
Right.
I'm going to speak about some that has already come through real quick, just to give you an idea. And I'm not going to mention what has not come through yet.
Right.
Although, while if you follow me, you'll know exactly where I'm going.
You'll see what's going on.
Basically, these things were once called conspiracy theories.
Right.
They're known, obviously, conspiracy realities.
Right.
But like, for example, back in 1992, they said that a disaster would be generated to bring in the new world that they're deciding to bring in. You understand? And, and then I saw that happen They didn't name it what they named it.
Right, but it happened.
But it happened.
Right.
They said, the book said, when a black man becomes a president of the United States of America, the people are going to believe that it's for the better. And he's going to do a lot of great things, and he's going to be one of the best presidents.
Right.
Per se, like on paper, statistically, whatever. But it's going to be the destruction, the beginning of the destruction of America from a moral standpoint. It's going to be the destruction of family life as we know it and stuff like that.
Right.
You get what I'm trying to say to you? I don't have to go deeper.
Right.
Because I'm not here to hit on anybody. I'm just making people aware.
Right.
You feel me? Those books basically told us that something that we all know, but we don't really look into it.
93.
From 1993.
Wow.
They was telling us things like there's no difference between Republican and Democrat. It's a game that is set up to keep the people confused and against each other. So the powers that be really can choose to do what they want to do. So I have all of these things in my head. Plus, I'm a conscious Rastaman. Plus, I'm the kind of Rastaman that love Jesus Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach, Isus Christus, whatever you want to call it. You know, so I'm rounded like that, and I'm saying, wow. And
not limited in perspective at all.
There you go. And
Love
I'm
it.
bubbling up with all of this inside of me, and I'm on
it.
radio, and I can't release it. So no, I'm releasing it, but not in the way to say, hey, and burn the government. No.
Not beating nothing down your throat.
No, not like that. I just find appropriate times, like there are songs that make certain references, and I drop a hint right there and there instead of talking about some girl or something like that. You get what I'm trying to say to you?
I dig it.
You
And
feel
people
me?
want to hear the message.
And that's what I'm realizing. And the more I'm doing it, I'm saying to myself, Lion, but you break the rules, man. This is not good. You know that. You shouldn't be doing that. But then, no, some people that call me and tell me that how much they are inspired. People call me crying. I play gospel. This Rasta man play gospel
music.
Oh, you mean, brethren?
Wow. You're not breaking radio. You're making radio. Trust me.
I play
trust
gospel,
me.
brethren, because I'm trying to reach people that love what we call God. Some people say the universe, some people say Jah, some people say Allah. I don't care. I know what I say. I know what I do when I go in my closet. But I'm trying to reach conscious people because there's too much division out there because of religion.
Yes.
And
also by
politics and all of these things by design. So because I realize this, that's why I try to come the way that I come across.
I dig it. I like it.
I'm talking too much.
Nah, man. No, I'll tell you this, and I'll continue to say this.
That's why I was wondering, why did he want to bring me here? If you did not want to hear this, that's me.
You know what? Because I like to learn. I tell people this all the time. There's nothing more enlightening to me than a conversation that when it's done, I feel like I've learned something. Because I've had many conversations that I felt dumber at the end of the conversation. So I like having conversations where I learn. I tell people this also. I don't want to be ever the smartest guy in the room. Never. Because there's no reason for me to be in that room.
Even if you are, just pretend like you're not.
There's always something to learn. Always something to learn. Ladies and gentlemen, we're sitting here with Homegrown, who's got so much more we're going to go over, and I'll drop this tune for you right now. This is J. Will from J. Will and the Raps and Kush Band. Keep it moving, keep it grooving. It is Homegrown.
Sticky situation, risky situation, no lie. Sticky situation, risky situation, no lie. Got myself in a sticky situation just the other day. I met this fine girl at the train station, said she lost her way. Before we knew it, one thing led to another. We were both undercover, bedrock and pillow jamming all night. Next thing me see a broad light. She said, hey, Jay, to the well. Love the way you wrap my body cause you got skill. Keep it coming still. Her desires got fulfilled, yeah. She said, hey, Jay, to the well. Love the way you touch my body, ooh, you give me chills. Keep it coming still. Her desires got fulfilled, yeah. We did her thing, then we started conversating. Said I gotta go now, cause my baby's waiting. And sure enough, it's gonna be a fight. I know she's wondering where I've been all night. Oh no, I ain't getting in that mix. Ooh, I'm feeling good now, says she got her fix. Jay, I wanna thank you for your love and tenderness. But before you go, give me one more kiss. Jay's to the well, okay. Cause you got skill. Keep it coming still. Her desires got fulfilled, yeah. She said, hey, Jay, to the well. Love the way you touch my body, ooh, you give me chills. Keep it coming still. Her desires got fulfilled, yeah. reminiscing. Looking all around because my driver's license missing. Damn, what could this be? I hope it's not a tragedy. I hear knock, knock, knocking at my door. 6 in the morning and my wife, she's still a snore. I tiptoe to the front door. These knocks I could not ignore. Me hear she shout, hey, hey, Jay. Oh, she shout out. The way you wrap my body, cause you got she shout out. Keep it coming still. Her desires got fulfilled, yeah. She said, hey, hey, Jay, to the well. Love the way you touch my body. Ooh, you give me chills. Keep it coming still. Her desires got fulfilled, yeah. Got myself in a sticky situation just the other day. I met this fine girl at the train station. Said she lost her way. Before we knew it, one thing led to another. We were both undercover. Bedrock and pillow jamming all night. Next thing me see a broad delight. She said, hey, hey, Jay, to the well. Love the way you wrap my body, cause you got it. Keep me coming still. Her desires got fulfilled, yeah. She said, hey, hey, Jay, to the well. Love the way you touch my body.
Ladies and gentlemen, that song is called Sticky Situation. That one is J. Will and the Raps and Kush Band. The album is Love Your Life. If you don't have it, make sure you go ahead and add that to your collection. Lion, you are a man dedicated to the music.
Most def.
Dedicated to the culture.
Def.
Dedicated to the people.
Yes, indeed.
I dig it. It makes it a whole different thing. That can be exhausting.
It is, enough.
Without a doubt. And guess what? It can also be. It can also be a thankless job.
It is, enough. I'm serious.
And
it
not
is.
always lucrative.
You're so right.
So
You're so right.
what keeps you so dedicated?
I am not a radio personality.
Right.
I am not a music industry professional. Although I went to school, blah 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 blah, and this only happens to be the avenue I chose to do the work that Jack told I to do when I first decided to do this work.
I got you.
Do you understand? Yeah. So I find ways to survive. This is not my bread and butter, although I've also found ways to eat a little food out of it still. But no, it's not the kind of food that you were thinking about when you were growing up.
Right.
To say, this is what I'm going to be doing. But I survive other ways.
Right.
You know what I mean? I do other things, you know what I mean? Which we're going to talk about some of those other things too. I mean, there are other things that I've done in different ways.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Marketing, the company.
Marketing is one of the things that a lot of people don't know in this community is that I'm actually a consultant.
Right.
And, you know, a lot of them don't know, although they should, because they get a lot of free consultation from me, the ones who don't know but should, right? But then there are a lot of people in the community, like, for example, you know, Whirlwind. I'm a consultant for them for years. That's you know, I've been in a PR position with them when they had the company People's Telecom, which was the first black-owned Jamaican-owned telecommunications company in Jamaica. I'm proud to say it.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Standing up against, you know, cable and wireless and Digicel.
Right.
The company is no more.
Right.
It got a serious fight. And I'm not afraid to say that part of the fight that it got is, I mean, think about the name, the shadow name, Whirlwind Group of Companies. The owner for this company decided to call this company Whirlwind because of what Marcus Garvey said. Look for me in the whirlwind.
Right.
So he's coming back as Marcus Garvey. To do his things. No, you know, when he started to do his thing, People's Telecom, people like Sizzla Kalonji, people like Vibes Cartel, believe it or not, reach out to him and say, yes, we love how you know, because like the Rastafari community want a bus, and the owner for Whirlwind hear about it. He find a way to get to them and buy the bus for them. Wow. So, you know, and hear that children need school fee or lunch money or something like that.
Finds a way.
He finds a way to get the company. They do robotics in schools and stuff like that.
Nice.
So they're doing good amongst the people.
Right.
But the establishment
can't
in Jamaica did not like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't want to go more into it because there was a lawsuit and all of that kind of stuff. But, you know, I know that I can say that much.
Wow.
You know what I mean? But so it's the whirlwind. So he has come forward,
right?
You know, with a lot more things
right,
that are still doing very well.
Trust me.
The first one now that most people know about is Whirlwind Live right here in Florida for the
Yes.
past, 5 years, probably 6 years. We've been doing the annual Labor Day affair with Oliver Samuels,
Yeah, the theater.
the theater.
Yeah.
So that's
and doing
one.
it remarkably. Because what people, entertainment business, you come and you show up and you see the production, you say it's a great production. But little do you know
What we have to
what
go
it
through.
takes to make that production, make that hour
Most
and 45 minutes
Definitely.
happen.
Yeah. So that's one of the things. And of course, we only do this part here because the owner and I live here and his family lives here. I mean,
Right.
he travels a lot, of course, but I'm just saying, so this is our backyard.
Gotcha.
So we do this part of it. We're going up to, so of course, we want to thank South Florida, by the way,
Much love.
for, because normally when a play comes from Jamaica, it's normally premiered in Jamaica. And people hear about it and then they bring it here and they say, oh, I have to go to that play because
Heard the buzz from Jamaica.
that's right.
Right.
The CEO of the company, which he, as I say, he comes with the world in different ways.
Right.
He decided that, listen, we're going to premiere this play.
Wow.
This recent one here, 56 East Avenue.
Wow.
We're going to premiere it here in South Florida. And I am pleasantly surprised
Yeah.
that we had one sold out show and 2 full houses.
Wow. Amazingly enough, and that's fearlessness.
was.
If that's
Of
fearlessness,
course.
if I've ever seen it.
There you go.
But credit where it's due, it's also a testament to the work that you guys did too, because I know on the promotional end of it,
Yes.
you were making it happen, as you always do. But this is an even more challenging feat to do the whole concept of the premiere, like you said, not just from the theater part of it, but music and the whole nine. We, South Florida, the U.S., we take our cue from Jamaica. So it would be actually more beneficial for you to say, okay, let me drop it in Jamaica and get the buzz up. But you guys decided, you know what? Nah.
And I'm not going to take any of the credit from the decision standpoint.
Right.
I'll take some of the credit for the marketing and that kind of stuff, because that's what I did at the consultation. But because I was like, you know what I mean? I think it's better, man. I like the formula to say, let's do it. I want to make sure that it works. You know what I mean? But he was like, no, listen to me. I'm saying, because even though I'm a consultant to him, of course,
Final say.
Yes, final say. So he
Final
doesn't
say.
always do that, but I mean,
I got you. I got you.
and it works. So Whirlwind Live, and I'm proud to be associated with Jamaica's icon for comedy. You know what I mean?
Much respect.
Most definitely. That's like saying, quote unquote, the Bob Marley of comedy.
Literally,
Right?
Literally.
So I'm talking about now from theatrical and the comedy and that standpoint, and what we can do with him and blah 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 from that standpoint. I'm really proud, and I'm proud of the kind of people that come out yearly. And the kind of plays, one of them was actually written by the CEO of Whirlwind, the first one. Who had it done?
Oh, really?
Yes.
So he's into playwriting too.
He's into.
What does he not do?
He's into.
Does he fix cars?
I should ask him. I've never seen him fix cars before, but he writes music too.
Wow.
That song in Jamaica that did a little bit of charting. I said, "Take Your Hand Off of Me" by Queen Ifrica.
That was
He wrote it.
really.
Take Your Hand Off of Me, yeah, Queen Ifrica. Yeah,
I would have never known. I would have never known.
Because there's a play that I hope let me be careful. I think it was still written by him or co-written by him. The play is called Take Your Hand Off of Me.
Oh, so he's
So
playwright and
there you go. So there's a lot of things coming up like that, and it's not only Oliver we started right there from the theatrical standpoint. When Sizzla had his accident and there was a big lull for him for a long time, it was Whirlwind group of companies that went for Kalanji. Of course, we had a previous relationship from the People's Telecom days and stuff like that. But we went for him and said, hey, and it is the CEO of Whirlwind that came with a great idea to use Sly and Robbie as the only backing and to have Sizzla in a kind of a theatrical kind of a thing in Jamaica. I don't know if you all remembered about that, and it did well.
Yep.
And that you can probably help me with this now. There's a young Jamaican girl that plays the violin. And she's, I think, Jamaican Chinese.
Yeah, I seen her on YouTube. I don't know her name, but I know who you're talking about. I see her on YouTube
She was
a
a
lot.
part of that show too.
So she was the opening act.
Yeah. So can you imagine also when it's like after that, boom, Sizzla.
And being here is also, that makes it double hard to navigate and to chart those waters, trying to curate stuff in Jamaica. One, is there's a difference of operations, but two, the geographic locations. that in itself is a testament to what you guys do. And I'm telling you, the hard work it shows.
Well, leave it up to Whirlwind Group because Whirlwind Group, we recently took over a factory in Jamaica. Where we turned it into a wine factory, but it's been made from fruits. It's called Slow Wine. It's now on the market in Jamaica.
I heard about that.
So we're doing beverages too.
Nice. And that's being done in Jamaica.
Thus
generating employment in Jamaica.
And that's the CEO's main concern.
I dig it.
Because even when he was getting the fight with People's Telecom, he could have moved it, the operations here easily. You know what I'm trying to say? But and I kind of even advised it
as a consultant,
right? But he is determined to want to do it in Jamaica as the first Jamaican-owned black company. Blah blah blah. That whole Marcus Garvey philosophy: do it for yourself.
That is rare.
I respect him.
It's respectable, it's commendable. It is rare. It is rare. When challenges present themselves, a lot of times, especially from a business standpoint, because once a challenges come up, the consultant will tell you, listen, hey, we're talking dollars and cents here,
yes.
Because sometimes the curators they're working off a passion.
Most definitely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the consultant has to rein you in. Hey, man.
Most definitely. Yeah, man. So, I want to tell you also about Ghetto People Publishing. Whirlwind Group of Companies also does publishing. Wow. The CEO, once again, for Whirlwind Group, he is the co-writer, and we are the publishers, which Ghetto People Publishing is one of our groups, one of our companies on the Whirlwind Group, that co-wrote the book, The Voice of Jamaica.
Very good book.
Vibes Cartel.
So I have that one. It's a very good book.
You know what I mean? Other books too, King of Kings, and there's other things coming out, and of course into venues as well. The premier venue in Kingston right now is the House of Dancehall, owned by Whirlwind Group of Companies. House of Dancehall, African Roots and Culture Center, all into one. The vision is like a kind of a mini hard rock kind of a vibration like.
He sat here last time when Oliver was here.
Yep, right? I remember.
And I was telling him, I said, and I still believe it. I said, something? I think you're a trick, you're a triplet, because it's not it's not possible. It's not possible for one, man. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking to Humble Line. Big up everybody that's out there. Roger and I, Marcia J. Ball, EK, of course, Annette Sweetland, Suzanne Palmer. Everybody's showing you love. Jorena is there too. Thank you so much. Enough
respect. I recognize a lot of the names, but I'm for some reason remembering two names, and I have to big them back up. Marcia Ball.
The legendary.
And Suzanne.
Have a big tune with her right now. Sultry.
No, stop play our thing wicked. Marcia Ball, most definitely. Those two are two very talented sisters. There's so many things we could talk about. I don't want to drift. You keep me focused here.
Hey,
big ups to my sisterins. Big up to all the people listening right about now.
Hal Anthony's over there in the UK right now doing his thing too, sending love.
Give thanks. Give thanks, Hal Anthony.
But it's a lot going on, man. And I really am always amazed, but I'm also happy whenever stuff like this is happening right in our midst, whether we know about it or not. Because it's happening, and we see stuff going on, and automatically as human beings, we'll assume that the man, is behind it all, and the resources are going elsewhere. But there's nothing more rewarding than seeing those resources in the community.
Most definitely.
And I dig it.
Can I tell you more about Whirlwind Group?
Absolutely.
I really, really love my relationship with this company.
Right.
Not only love the company, but my relationship with the company, because of what they stand for. You know what I mean? He could have used his influence to go the other way and become like them guys in Jamaica who just have the thing under what I call now lock and key, under I don't know what the word is slipping me right now. There's a word like rigmarole and those kind of things. You know how Jamaica is when it comes to certain things. People who have it just hold it a certain kind of a way.
Yep.
And a lot of them have invited him to be a part of them, and he has refused.
Wow.
He's holding his own.
Gotta.
You know what I mean? I want to tell you real quick, they also do Jamaica Online TV.
That's you?
That's Whirlwind Group.
I've seen Jamaica Online, but I had no idea.
That's Whirlwind Group again.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Also Jamaica Spotlight, which is kind of similar to Jamaica Online TV. And of course, JamaicanShoppingClub.com. That's where you can get everything, whatever, anything Jamaican to buy, including our tickets and stuff like that. So we're like a ticket outlet.
Dig it. And when we had the play recently, everybody said smoothly.
Yes.
It was smoothly. So
yes,
big ups the world.
And we're getting better because we have things on the inside that we know that could have gone a little bit different.
Right.
But it's always like that, because in promotion, you always say, this one is for the next one.
Yes.
So no matter how good this one is, you're preparing for the next one, but because some mistakes are going to be made on this one,
Right.
or some shortcomings, or whatever the case might be.
Some stepping stones, some learning mechanisms.
Curves. Something is going to happen that you're going to say, man, this is how I'm going to do the next time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there are many other things, but this other one now this one is sweet. Whirlwind Group has just now formed Whirlwind Records.
Let's talk. Let's talk. You know what? Even before, the rewind button. Back it up. Before I get to Whirlwind Records, right? Because when I sent out the blast and stuff like that, this particular episode, I said, listen, everybody, the world, the fans, supporters, listening. There's no way you're going to walk away without learning something. But artists, upcoming producers, people trying to get into radio broadcasts and stuff like that, if you listen to no other show, today is the day that you want to tune in. I'm going to go to some stuff like that. Let me ask you this, though, because this industry, this business, sometimes because we love it and we have a passion for it, we take those two words away. Industry. Business. You know what I mean? and we think passionately. And it's all good. But it's also a very expensive business. If you're doing it right, a song will cost you a lot of money. A production, anything at all costs you a lot of money. Music, media, promotions, it can be a grimy business.
Of course.
It is a grimy business.
It is a grimy business.
And most people who've been in the industry for a while, like we're just talking about the CEO of Whirlwind, doing his thing, standing firm, that doesn't happen.
With philosophy and principle.
Principle goes, people go. People cave, people cower, and truth be told, a lot of times they came in with intention too anyway. My question for you is this, because again, every time I have a conversation with somebody and they talk about what I do, before the conversation ends, they mention what you do.
Awesome.
I kid you not.
I'm lost for a second. You're saying
every time somebody says, G, I'm digging what you're doing.
Okay.
I like what you're doing.
Okay.
Before the conversation ends, they mention Humberland.
Virgin.
Believe it or not.
Virgin. I'm getting that a lot for some reason, and from good people and all kind of people, and to God be the glory, man. I give thanks. I do give thanks.
You're doing it.
Know? I'm serving.
And serving well. And to that I want to know, and I'm sure many people want to know, how difficult is it? And how do you manage to maintain not losing Humberland in the process?
I have almost lost Humberland many times.
Wow.
But my secret really is to dwell in the secret place of the Most High.
Right.
That is really my secret, you know. I'm being very honest.
Right.
I've been there, whether for the industry or even in personal. I've been there. I've been there. I mean, I came to Florida, man, and I remember this when I first moved to Florida. I came down here in September of 1999. From Philadelphia. And I'm living down here, and by January 2000, I'm on radio, and the community knows me. I'm, hosting like some different Rasta functions and stuff like that. They used to keep a banquet. The people starting to know me. I'm on the radio, whatever, as Humble Lion, And then there's this dude that I went to pick up my daughter one day, you know what I mean? And, it's like, dude just looked at me and said that I'm not gonna see him no more. You know what I mean? And I know you probably didn't hear about this, but some other people that's in the band that used to be with Jack Idea.
Right.
They know about it, you know what I mean?
Wow.
And a lot of people in this community know about it too. And I'm not afraid to talk about it because my testimony.
Right.
It's my testimony, and it's part of why I feel so strong and feel like I'm just going to do what I'm going to do because I know that Jah is with me. I know the Lord is with me. I know God is with me.
Right.
You know what I mean? So anyway, he just looked at me. It's a guy now that I used to just see, as a Jamaican guy too.
Right.
I used to see hanging out in the plaza, where I used to go and pick up my daughter in the evenings. And he just looked at me one day and said, Natty, you're not going to see me again, And I didn't know what he meant by that, This is a personal also, like, because he knows I'm on the radio, sometimes I get an extra CD, I see him, I give him an extra CD, sometimes I ask him for some other little things, I'm trying to say. One day I see him at the bus stop, and I'm like that. I'm no longer like that, by the way, when it comes to that. I saw him and I said, hey, where you going? And he said, down the road, and I offered him a ride. And it was probably 2 days after that, I saw him and he said, hey, Lion, you're not going to see me again. So I thought he was, like you said, he's moving out of town or something like that. And to cut a long story short, man, without me, as soon as I put my daughter in the car or whatever, and I'm like adjusting my CD bags or something like that in the car, something like that. And I just feel like turning around. I turn around, that's him standing over me. He gave me 21 stabs.
What?
21 stabs. He's now in mental institution. Police called him, whatever. I didn't press any charges against him. Everybody say, including my family members, say I'm stupid, but I didn't press charges because I'm here and the Almighty saved my life.
Right. And you were trying to help somebody.
Most definitely. You know,
So him saying you're not gonna see me again didn't mean that he was going anywhere. But
he's mental. That's the conclusion I came to.
Wow.
But I'm just saying though that some things that might seem that's so weird and out. But these things though, they all make me go back into the secret place of the Most High. That's where my confidence comes from. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right.
So I have been physically stabbed and I have been figuratively stabbed a lot too in this community.
Right. Wow.
There's some people in this community that I respect that deal with me in a way that they take advantage of what I have to offer. Right. Not Whirlwind Records, definitely not. I'm talking about some other people that I work. And then I realized that, something, just smile and help them when you can, but just kind of stay away from them and just work with the people who value what you do.
What you got,
and what I have coming. What I'm trying to say to you?
Absolutely.
And just stay out of the way. That's one of the reasons why I'm not so excited to be in the community like that, because it's nothing out there that really entices me like that. Right. My main thing is that I'm always doing my radio show in my head.
Right.
In my head.
Right.
Always thinking about how I'm going to probably say a certain point that I would like to get across. What's the best way to say it? So I do a lot of preparation in my head from that standpoint. I mentioned the stabbing thing just to tell you that it's something that I sat down and I thought about recently, and I like to philosophize a lot. And I philosophize it to say that I've not only been stabbed 21 times and left for dead.
Right.
I've been figuratively stabbed a lot too in this community. And those same people come back and I see whereby, I come back and I help them back again later on in life. And people that are in my personal circle saying, Lion, you're crazy.
Bigger man than me, Humberland. Bigger man than me. But we need you. Because we need people like you, because we can't have the contrary. And like you mentioned, going through all that, sitting here standing strong and being this effective in the community, it's bigger than you. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than us. And we need you. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking to Humberland. I'm going to drop one more joint right now. This is my brand new single. It's called Till This Day. It's a tribute to the grandparents. We'll be right back. Keep it moving, keep it grooving. It is Homegrown.
Tribute to the grandparents, Grand. Pops. Baba. Sicey. Loving it, I can see it real clear right now. I'd be running up the street with my shirt wide open, not knowing if you're there or not, but that you spot at the shop, so I really was hoping. Been a couple weeks since I seen you last. Can't you tell that your grandson's growing? That was the little boy in me. I wasn't thinking, I never know that one day you'd be gone. You'd be gone. Guess I thought that you'd live on. Now who's gonna keep me strong? Keep me strong and keep me safe from harm. Sometimes my soul just walks away and it leaves me so empty. It's been happening since that day that you upped and you left me. It still kills me till this day. I wasn't there to send you on your way. Granny, won't you say a little prayer for me, like you used to do when I was younger? Papa, know you're smiling down on me, and your smiling would always get me over. Papa, know your words are still with me. You told me separate the wise if I'm older. Miss Icy, won't you save a hug from me? Right now I could really use a shoulder. Yo, Know that if I wanna talk to you, I just get on my knees, say a prayer and you hear me. I feel you in the air and the wind as it blows, and I know that you're near me. Never have to journey through life on my own, 'cause you are right there beside me. Jah called you home, gave you wings, sent you back, and told you to guide me. So So you're not really gone, really gone. Guess you really did live on. Yo, it's you that keeps me strong, and shelters me from storms. Sometimes my soul just walks away, and it leaves me so empty. It's been happening since that day that you upped and you left me. It still kills me till this day. I wasn't there to help you on your way. Granny, won't you say a little prayer for me, like you used to do when I was younger? Papa, know you're smiling down on me. Now you're smiling, but always give me over. Papa, know your words are still with me. You told me separate her wiser from older. Miss Icy, won't you save a hug from me? Cause right now I could really use a shoulder.
Ladies and gentlemen, that one is Till This Day. It is the brand new single from G. Cole, and that one is produced by Shawnee B over there at BBC One Extra, the UK. Big up yourself, Shawnee B. Thank you so much. We're talking, and we're always talking about stuff. A lot of times we're off here talking, a lot of things get by. And I always keep trying to say, how do we maintain who we are in this industry? In an industry like this where there's so much conforming that goes on, so much manipulation, so much ways to try to control, like we said, the whole payola thing. I'm not going to charge somebody some money to play a song, no matter how you slice it and dice it and try to. And I'm sure you encounter that on a regular basis.
Most definitely. That is one of the things that, I can't understand it. I mean, there's a person right now that is upset at me because they want to give me money and I'm refusing to take the money. But I refuse to take the money because I don't want to be controlled. If I like your music, and or if the audience likes your music, it's going to get played.
Right.
Even if I don't like you or if you don't like me. And I'm saying it like that for a reason too.
Right.
Because I am for the music.
Right.
You get what I'm trying to say to you? And that's what I meant earlier on when that's what I was alluding to when we first started it initially. I'm not a radio personality. I don't consider myself a music business industry professional.
Right.
But I know what I'm doing. I'm working in that area. But I'm trying to just bring my influence into that area.
Right,
I'm just trying to bring a little balance. Because what I'm trying to say is that if I was a radio person, then I wouldn't be refusing this guy. I'd just and play it and just do whatever and just do the program. But when I go on the radio, I ask the universe, I ask the spirit, I ask the God inside of me, you know what I mean, to say, yo, talk through me, use me. You understand? To get the things out that need to get out to the people.
Right.
You get what I'm trying to say?
Absolutely.
So I have no time now to. Don't get me wrong. I have music that I produced. And I'm not talking about with Berlin Records.
Right.
Because Berlin Records just started, which I hope we get some time to talk about that before we leave.
Absolutely. I got some stuff for you.
Yeah, but I've produced an album that I hear other people have played. They didn't even know that I produced it. Just how I am.
Right.
I'm going to say it off air. Because I'm just like that. You know what I'm trying to say?
Right.
I'm not going to do that with Berlin Records. I'm going to talk about what we're going to, because that's something
right.
that I plan to do. But I'm just like that. And I'm saying that though, to say this, that if I produce, I was one of the producers. I'm going to be very honest. I was the executive producer of that particular album. They got into some trouble and, whatever.
It happens all the time.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, I'm not trying to make it look like whatever.
Right,
I'm just saying, though, that I like it. I played it. And the person that was my partner at the time liked it. And then they played it. And then a couple of the DJs at WAVS played it. They did not know it was mine because I did not tell them intentionally that I was the one that produced it.
Right.
But I made it available through the proper channels. You know what I'm trying to say? You do it the right way. You know what I'm saying? And they got it. You know what I'm saying? But it did not jump off the way that it could have or whatever. I did not keep pushing it because I produced it.
It's just... It's either good or it's not good. You either like it or you don't like it.
Or it either made it or it didn't.
Or it didn't make it. Yeah.
And one more point to say that if it don't make it, don't feel bad. Bob Marley is one of my favorite artists. Garnet Silk, I don't play them every day.
Right.
People understand that. So I'm using the music as a tool to bring the message and the information while still trying to keep you entertained.
How long are you on air each day?
3 hours each day, and I just lied because I work at 2 stations. So I'm on WZOP 92.7 FM, and you know the sister station for that is WZPP 96.1 FM. So the WZOP is for Fort Lauderdale, 96.1 FM is for Miami. We simulcast both, right? So on those two stations, so we're gonna call that one, all right? So let's call it WZOP for argument's sake, although it's two different call letters. So on WZOP, I'm on Mondays through Saturdays, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. with a show called The Midday Meditation.
Right.
And except Wednesdays, I'm on 11 to 1 because I have to be at WAVS radio by 2 to 4 p.m.
Gotcha.
You know, for a 2 to 4 p.m. show. On Mondays, let's backtrack a bit. On Mondays, of course, you know, I'm at WZOP 11 to 2. And then at 3 o'clock to 6 p.m., I'm on WAVS, the Travel Home Super Mix show.
So you're on a couple hours each time, 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours.
I'm 3 hours every day at WZOP, and then sometimes 3 hours in the evening on WAVS, sometimes 2 hours, and sometimes 1 hour. On a Friday, I do the top 11 countdown, and that's only 1 hour.
And there's structures, there's stuff we do that it's not just, okay, give me a playlist, I'm gonna drop song. So people have got to realize
there you go.
that it's not just, I'm just not sitting here with a candy bag full of songs and get yours in.
There you go.
So and this is something I always say here, and I hope people can understand and appreciate it, and of course you being here, you can even elaborate on it a little bit more, is that I'm not a DJ.
Neither am I.
You know what I mean? I am a podcaster, and I share with the masses what's in my headphones. So I tell people this all the time because I've seen experiences where, like I've said to you, you can take away somebody's confidence, you can't take away their talent. I don't ever want to be the person to take away somebody's confidence, because a lot of times it's a good song, it's your thing. It may not be what's in my headphone. We can toss it on to give it a strength or whatever the case may be. But if you hear me constantly playing a song, don't feel like, okay, well, that brother there gets preferential treatment. It's just that's what's in my headphone. I'm just digging that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There you go.
And what people try to not understand a lot of times is that there's a human side of it too. You know what I mean? I always talk about this when it comes to the Grammys, the Oscars, and whatever the case may be. Don't be fooled. There's a human factor in it. So it's not always just going to be about the film, about the music.
Yeah.
You're a fan of that artist, of that actor. So you pay a little bit more attention to and there's a name you may not know. So that affects the vote. Is the same thing about the music that gets put into the list. So for the Massive and crew out there, please continue to send the music. And truth be told, sometimes I'm bumping a song, a certain set of songs. I'm the type of person, when I got the Stephen Marley album, Revelation Part 1, I probably listened to that CD and that CD alone for maybe 2 months.
I'm like that too.
And it's not that I'm done. I hate to use the word done, but then it's the same thing here, where when you send me something, I might not start playing it for another month or two. So don't be deterred. Don't get discouraged. Don't think that your song, I don't dig your song.
There you go.
Or whatever the case may be. I'm sure you deal with the same thing.
Oh man, I'm glad we're having this conversation, because it can be annoying when, I didn't even get to things where people are linking me that they want to pay me because I'm so backed up with my work. You get what I'm trying to say? People are linking me and say, Norman, when you're coming for this invoice, to take care, I'm serious. And, and you are calling me because you sent me music probably 3 weeks ago, which is bad. I should have gotten to it, but I'm only myself. I need some help or something like that, man. And guess what?
The assistant's on vacation.
And the reality is that I never even got a chance. I saw it. I acknowledge that I got it, but I did not even download it yet, because that's a different realm now. Once I start doing that, I got to be sitting down and doing that. And it's going to take away from some other things that are more pressing at the moment.
Right.
You get what I'm trying to say? Like, commercials and stuff that people are sending to me that they paid for to go on the air. That's going to be more important than the songs that you're sending me for me to check out. Right. Plus, I have to vibe them. I have to see where the songs are coming from and see how I would fit it into what I do. Because as I say, I'm not trying to play music necessarily for you to just dance or whatever. If you want to dance, that's cool too. Cool. You know what I mean? But that has never been my point. That's why I don't try to go into the clubs. Of recent, people are saying that they want me to come play at parties. I'm like, nah. But there's this one guy that says he wants to put me in the park to do exactly what I do on the radio, and I say I'm considering that. That sounds like something I would do. You know what I'm trying to say? Because that's what it's about for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, man. So I want the people to don't feel no way. You know, and you might be very talented, and I might like the fact that you have that talent and stuff, but it just don't fit my thing. You know what I'm trying to say?
It's a lot more than just play.
It's a lot more than that, Like I have there's some artists in this town right now, and they do some nice songs, younger guys, but it's like money, and money is good, and I'm into that and whatever. But I'm just saying, how I do my show, it's called a Midday Meditation. You know, when I talk about money, I'm talking about the law of attraction, if you understand what I'm trying to say to you. You know, I'm not trying to just like a sprawling kind of thing and you have to have money to do this. You know, which nothing is wrong with that. I'm repeating over and over. Nothing is wrong with it.
But that's not the end game here.
That's not my focus. My focus is to say, okay, teach you that you are money, that you are richer than money. That's where I am at. That. You get what I'm trying to say to you?
That. Ladies and gentlemen, I dig that. I hope you do too. You know what I'm trying to figure out though is this. Technology. Mm-hmm. We've seen the changes over the years. Mm-hmm. And sometimes change is slow and then sometimes change is overnight. Mm-hmm. I remember the concept of internet radio came out to kind of, for lack of a better word, circumvent terrestrial radio. Mm-hmm. And then when they clamped down on internet radio, then you know, there's Facebook Live, so people do it over Facebook Live to circumvent internet radio. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, we're coming here. So there's always ways. Do you find, and it's a conversation that I have amongst my peers, do you think terrestrial radio is going to be obsolete at any point?
I love your question because for me to say what I really want to say about terrestrial radio and internet radio, I'll have to answer that question separately. Right. So I like the way you put the question.
Right.
I don't think will become obsolete. It's possible. Mm-hmm. It's possible. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. Because most people don't answer the question, so it does.
Okay.
Most people in the business of radio. Because here's the thing: when I ask a question,
it's possible.
It's not a double. It's a simple question. Mm-hmm. You know, a lot of times people will not say yes because it's kind of like, okay, that's my business. I don't want to talk that into being. Mm-hmm. But we'll always find a way to make it happen. No, if terrestrial radio goes, it doesn't mean radio's gone.
No,
and especially
it's just different ways of doing what radio used to do.
Now with TuneIn, we have TuneIn right now. Everybody's on TuneIn. Mm-hmm. There's the internet stations and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So TuneIn is great because I have it on my phone. But it's one of those things that I think is it doing more harm than good?
Yo, the fact that you ask the question the way you asked the question, I didn't mean to jump back real quick here. It tells me where you are. That is intelligence in my opinion.
Right. Appreciate it.
And no disrespect to the people who have been debating which one is better, internet or terrestrial. That is the most stupid debate that I've seen, and people pushing. It is so stupid. Why is it stupid? It is stupid because every terrestrial radio that I know, even the one that is back to, whatever you want to call it,
they're on
internet. They're online.
Yep.
So why talk about which one is better?
Yeah.
The question is, will the modern technology eventually one day, because terrestrial to become obsolete? That I agree with. Another conversation you could have too is the fact that internet radio technology, social media in general, has eaten into the profits of radio.
Ridiculously.
You understand?
Ridiculously.
You know what I mean?
It's streaming. I was having a conversation with an artist, and she's huge in Japan, talking about platinum selling and all them things. And she says, you know, right now, people are embracing a whole lot more different genres because of streaming, which is true. There's a time where if you're in your part of town and you're used to something, that's all you're used to, and that's what you're going to go buy and that's what you're going to consume. When we used to go to the CD store, you were going there and, you know what I mean? When you stream now, if you put in G-Code, you're not going to get G-Code playing on G-Code. You may get that G-Will. You get my music comes up with Soja a lot from over there. It comes up with Revolution. So you get now exposed to a whole bunch of things. Yep. So that's the benefit of streaming. So people say it's a beautiful thing. In the right hand, what you get paid for a stream is minuscule. So you have people, if you're not streaming 6, 7, 8 million streams at a certain point, you might as well go try to sell 10 CDs.
Well, you know, and anything you do, if you don't think that you can get the 10 million streams, don't do it.
Right.
Even if it's taking you a million years
to get it.
You get what I'm trying to say to you? And we can also back up a bit. If you're going to do it only because you're looking for the streams, the people will know, the audience will know, the industry will know. It's not going to go nowhere. The people who get through in this business, my friend, are people who have passion.
Right.
If you're a bad man and you're passionate about that,
you're going to be successful.
When you do your gunman song, I hear you, be. Yeah, man, I hear you. You know what I mean? And if you're not real and you're trying to come across like a bad man, I hear that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, punk.
You can tell what's real.
Yeah.
And what's
You know what I mean? So
fabricated.
It's not about, I'm realizing it's not about whether it is right or wrong, because right and wrong
Relative.
is very relative.
Very, very relative.
Very relative, right?
It's amazing. It's amazing.
It's
And we can talk about
what
it all
you
day.
have passion for. That's what is
And you can
reality.
tell the difference with passion in as simple as the sound. You listen, somebody will play a song for you, and you hear the passion in it. I heard a ton of passion in Hope River, Agent Sasko. My blog on the website homegrownwithjico.com, we have the podcast. Hope we have the videos up. The blog starts tomorrow, so it's pretty much starting September. My favorite. The songs that are in my playlist, the albums that are in my playlist. Can't do it from January because the year just started. So it's going to be like September, and then I'm going to play catch up. So there are a couple of albums, and the one that I was driving around listening to is Agent Sasko's Hope River. Passion.
Yes.
Unbridled passion.
Yeah.
Great product.
I like his Mama Prayer song too. You know that one?
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. He has a song that's not on the album called Domino Table. It's on the change rhythm. It's just a concept of it.
I'm an artist that you know.
Yeah, man. He's never done, in my eyes, some of my favorite artists, regardless of the genre, they've had their hits and they've had their misses. I have never seen a Sasko miss yet.
No. And Sasko, you know what I like about Sasko? He doesn't declare necessarily who he is or what he is. He's not telling him a bad man or he's a Rasta or whatever. He just does great stuff.
I got some music for
clean
you.
stuff. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And I feel good because I know this is an artist that the masses love, but this is an artist that I can play 99% of his stuff and don't think about it.
And normally those don't go together. What the masses love and what we can play normally in our
You have
silence.
some artists that say that they are Rasta artists. I have to be careful. I can't close my eye and play them because I might hear some things that I'm just not gonna deal with on air. You get what I'm trying to say? That's not Sasko. You know what I'm saying?
I'm glad you said that, Tuna, because you know what that brings me to now? That's another thing why it takes longer for the music play. Ladies and gentlemen, if I get 5, I've heard a couple of DJs, even Sir Rockwell, we talk about Rockwell. Remember Rockwell told me one time that he got, maybe in a weekend or so, for over 1,000 songs in his email, right? What people don't realize is we got to listen to them 1,000 songs.
You have to listen to them.
Because I can't just play it. Next time I go play it, I'm here. Right? You know what I mean?
You can't just tell me you mash up the place the other day and the thing bad. I have to get a vibration from it. I have to listen to it.
And I got to make sure that it's censored because in this day and age, people, the line's so blurred that what they deem okay for airplay, it ain't. It ain't.
No.
No, let me ask you this right now. And I say this because we have a lot of artists watching and producers, musicians, and so forth.
Okay.
Let me see who else. Patricia, big up herself. Dr. Traska, we got a lot of people over in the UK. Latoya, thank you so much for joining us. Jayut the Ferner Burner, appreciate you. That's my artist, you know. Right now, everybody and their mom wants to be an artist, right? Creating music has become easier based on technology. Accessibility is there. Quality, on the other hand, is a totally different conversation. You know what I mean? So you have the capability of doing it. You're not necessarily doing it well. Do you feel like the artist talent pool is getting bigger or better? Is it getting better or is it just getting bigger? Junior Gang have a song where him say, boy, are we getting taller? Are we getting wiser or are we just getting taller? Are we just getting a floodgate of more artists, or is the fact that we have more artists mean that we have more talent and more quality? All of the above.
I think so.
Yeah. But that's more work for you now.
Yeah. It's all of the above. And you see, that's what, did you ever think that it would come to a point where email is like annoying? Like it's like, do you get what I'm trying to say? I mean, it's good enough. So what I'm trying to say is that this technology, it always brings disadvantages. You get what I'm trying to say to you? And that's one of the downsides of it. You have to find a way now to deal with that. It all cuts into your time. Should I say this? The fact that I thought about it, I'm going to go ahead and say it real quick. Tuesday, I got off the air at 2. And on Tuesday afternoons, I don't have to go to WAVS.
Right.
So normally when I get off the air, my phone, text, email, whatever. So instead of driving and being tempted to do it, I said, let me just stop in the parking lot right here. So I got off at 2. I got outside there by probably like 2:15, 2:20. Gee, cool. Can I believe me that at 4:45 I was still in the parking lot?
Checking emails.
Mike came back and said, Lion, you're normally gone already. What's he doing here? You know what I mean? And I said, yo, I'm just going some emails. You know what I mean? And then that made me say, you know something, Lion? Move on. Not because he said it, but I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Really and truly, you've been here all this time in the parking lot.
Right.
Guess what? As soon as I moved off, my phone went off again.
Right.
And I said, I'm going to ignore it.
Right.
But then it's one of them kind of rings now that you sound like it could be something.
Right.
And I have children, so I said, let me check. And check, it was another business call. I told him to give me a few minutes. I knew I was going to my office now in Plantation. So I got to that. But instead of getting out of the car and going inside of the office to go chill and do some work, I now start to reply to that text. And then I start to reply to a couple more. Then I start to send 2 emails right there from the phone. G. Cole, laugh at me, whatever, don't believe me, whatever. Can you believe that when I was done once again, it was minutes to 8?
I can see that.
And this did not include any of the people who were trying to get mad at me because I didn't download their songs yet. I didn't even listen to it yet. And that sounds so far. Wow. You get what I'm trying to say, my friend?
It's very real. It's very real. And I'm glad you say it, because a lot of time people think
don't understand, man.
Because here's what they think. I've seen these memes on Instagram and so forth that says, what I'm doing, what people think I'm doing. You know what I mean? So it's like when you're doing all that, when somebody calls you or sends you a message and you don't get to respond, guess what they think you're doing?
That's what they think.
You know what I mean?
Because they're not doing anything. But listen, my day is of such whereby I prioritize every day the most important things, and that's how I get some things actually done.
I love it. And it's got to get done. We're going to get into Whirlwind. I think it's time for us to get into Whirlwind.
Because we just signed 2 artists.
Let's and I'm going to drop some music from them. What I always wonder, though, is this. There's for the music industry to be sustainable, there's got to be a symbiotic relationship between artist, label, if there is one, radio, and the fans, right? Where's the break in the chain? What's going on?
Meaning?
Right now, the business of the reggae music is not climbing the way it's supposed to be.
All right. You know something? This is how I look at that. It's all about personal energy in this modern time. Yes, you can have, it's good now when you have a company that has vision or a management that has vision to stand behind that personal energy. And the point I'm trying to make is that technology has done that to the industry. It's no longer now about the facade you present. It's still somewhat there. Yes, marketing and those things still kind of work. And yes, you still have to implement those things. But look at Cargo. Cargo is an artist that was hot at one point, and then things kind of fell off for him. I won't get into his personal things of why, what, whatever. That's not our concern at this conversation, right? But how did he get back recognition and go back on the Billboard charts? Strictly through his personal energy that he protrude online, social media.
Right. So
Vegas does it too, and others. So I love that because it takes away the power from us, the radio people. Can I repeat, please? It takes away the power from us, radio people, and that's why I like it. So, Humberline, you're on radio. Why do you like that? I'm not looking for power like that.
Right. It's not a dictatorship.
You get what I'm trying to say to you?
Yeah.
I feel good about the fact that you, Mr. Artist or Miss Artist, you can actually bypass all of these radio stations that's trying to charge you all this money and all of this diplomatic steps that you have to go through, and you get on the rigmarole, as I like to use that word, and the red tape.
Yeah.
You don't have to go through all of that. You can go directly to your fans.
I dig it.
You get what I'm trying to say to you?
I dig it.
So the technology has done that. It's bad for what the industry used to be, but it's better for people who are trying to break in. You now have a fair chance. Back in the day, because as I say, I studied the business. You had to go to an A&R to present your stuff. Now your A&R is your iPod, man. Your A&R is your social media. You just present yourself properly.
Right, and if it's good,
it's gonna be good. And if it's not good, it's not gonna be good.
It's not going anywhere.
It's just simple.
And as everything else, no matter what you're doing in life, it must be backed up by some hard work. Because there's another thing that I see is creating an issue is some people are doing the social media part of it. I've had Vegas here yesterday. I've had conversations with different artists, and they put a whole bunch of work in on social media. And it works for them also because prior to social media, they had a fan base. So when social media came about, they brought the fan base to social media. A lot of time people are spending forever on social media trying to create that fan base. All right. But a lot of people are putting in the work only on social media and thinking that's where it's at. And that's where I need to put all my efforts. Now, when it comes to record labels and so forth, and this is why I'm excited about Whirlwind. Because a lot of record labels, and the word record label is very used loosely too, because some people are distributors.
Basically just distributors.
It's pretty much what it is.
Capitalizing on the record industry. Yeah,
On
there
the
you
industry.
go.
So it's one of them scenarios where I do think a lot of artists, especially here, will benefit because you are not coming from the corporate pillaging. I'm a record label. This is what I do. Because I tell people this all the time. When I was getting married,
You see the vibes. Okay.
trust me. When I was getting married, my wife was stressed. We had a wedding planner, right? And she was getting stressed out about a lot. I shouldn't have said this, but I said to her, "Are you getting stressed out because you think it's a part of the process? Is this really stressing? Or are you really getting stressed out because you think it's a part of the process?" I think when it comes to record labels and stuff like that, all of the missteps that they've made, they do it because they think it's a part of the process. In other words, me dipping into your pocket, me 316 you, me doing everything is part of the process. And I think that's where a whirlwind can come in and make a huge difference. Now, before we even go deep into whirlwind, we've got some announcement to make. I play music here every now and then.
Of course.
So every now and then, I'm gonna drop a tune for them. All right?
Okay.
Can I?
Is it a surprise to you? Drop a tune.
Can I drop some?
Just do your thing, man. It's
Ladies and gentlemen, I got something for you.
Your G code.
It is what it is. A little familiar, but you know what? Take this one out. Keep it moving. Keep it grooving. It is homegrown.
I'm going to this a call. Mama, books and your call, listen up.
In a real life, God. Look now. I beg on. Hey, oh.
When Angola go call on the books and say that be careful how you walk, no step, no foot down in the trap, cause they will only set the cheese for the rat. And I get to use the one for cheer and a mark. And then we share out your life like a food too. No remember in the days the good when you do. No, you never grumble, no, you never screw. But now what tumble a wall, I drop down upon you. I hear repatriation, it's a must. But we can't do it with no bus nor no truck. I need a plane or a ship that tough. But in a Selassie I we keep focus.
So me bunny jack from Babylon. Me not take no chat from Babylon. Oh, cause I do corrupt the ghetto youths within wicked dark dirty Babylon. When we walk me trample down Babylon. Talk and ride down Babylon. Who no ball be there with your clans and plans. Want come trap in the bang. Who no think who no can come take Mama Africa from me again. No who no can come take Mama Africa from we again. Who no think who no can come take Mama Africa from we again. No who no can come take Mama Africa from we again.
I said the blind must be led, the hungry shall be fed. Let go Babylon because the system drain. No butter for the bread. Listen when me say the slave master you deserve a peg. So me I beg the youth the whole of meditation. Just know yourself and then you seek salvation. A piece of love it should be your occupation. Nobody make them all and pull you in a station.
Can't come take Mama Africa from me again. Who no think who no
EKWA says disappearing because real radio stations are disappearing. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for sticking and staying with us. That one there, Jayut the front burner, has given some big flames right about now. Of course, you know what? I'm passing the baton right about now. Talk to me about what's going on there, the artist, Whirlwind, and how we're putting all this together.
Okay, that's a very familiar song, although that's a remix version. That is the artist Jabooks with his big hit from more than 5 years ago. That is still, anytime you put on that song, it mash up the place.
Kill it.
You understand?
Angola.
And featured on that track as well is the son of the dancehall legend Brigadier Jerry.
Yes.
So this is Little Briggy.
Right. So Jabooks featuring Liquor Briggy.
Jabooks featuring Little, and those are the two artists that we just signed.
So those are the first signees on Whirlwind
Records. First signees.
Where's Whirlwind based?
In Jamaica.
Okay.
HQ is the house of dancehall, basically.
Okay.
Basically. That's the new nickname, HQ.
Got it.
You know?
Got it.
Yeah.
So talk to him about Whirlwind. Now, the concept, like I mentioned, of a record label in this day and age is a little warped. You know, to me, the top three, and I was having this conversation with Jayut the other day, the top 3 recent reggae albums. All right, and I mentioned Saskone, talking about Protege and even Chronics and stuff like that. They're all released independently. Not a lot of them going to the record labels and so forth. I presume that's because the existing labels, who shall remain nameless, couldn't do more for them than they could do for themselves. Right? Talk to me about Whirlwind in itself. What's the difference that you guys are going to come to this business with?
Well, the main thing that we decided to come with, Whirlwind, by the way, we are marketing experts in Jamaica and here.
Right.
We don't show it on our shoulders or whatever. We do our thing and prove it by the work we do.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's, a lot of people come to us for just that alone. Even politicians are saying, hey.
Which is one of the most important things in trying to get your stuff out there. If your marketing ain't right, nothing's right.
So, we have that. You know what I'm trying to say? We're not worried about that. We're not, so that part is going to be good. We're talking about not only billboard, we're talking every avenue. If you notice the group of companies, you get what I'm trying to say?
The network is there.
So not the network is there, but also how we think.
Right.
How the company thinks in terms of all angles.
Right.
You have beverages, you have publishing, you have...
As you mentioned, I'm just thinking to myself right now, right now, wow.
But the next real thing, is Jamaica is a gem. And it's full of talent.
Yeah.
G. Cole. I never hear you DJ, but I know you can DJ.
Right.
I hear you sing,
Right.
but I know you can also DJ.
Right.
If you really want to do it.
If you really want to do it. Right.
Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Jamaica full of talent, man.
Right.
So I'm saying now that there are many artists that, we can work with. There are many artists that would love to be signed and have somebody backing them, working with them, whatever. We went for Jabooks and Briggy as an example of what we intend to do. We just did this little remix to kind of wake up back that. Next thing that's coming now is 2 albums, 1 for each. And there are a lot of people around already who is coming to HQ that we know that we're gonna probably end up doing some work with.
Right.
But the whole idea is to hone talent and or people like Liquor Briggy and Jabooks who have the talent, probably have a like a one hit. Briggy never have any hit nor anything like that, but that's the son of the general and he has the talent.
Right.
As you just heard just now, and that's just a one thing you can go Google him, you know what I mean? But but he needed some kind of a support system behind him, both of them.
Right.
You know what I mean? And some people might say, well, Jabooks thing was 5 years ago, blah, blah, blah. We know why we went for him, because we know that there is a lot more.
That's 5 years ago.
That's
But you see how we felt when we played it a while ago. I feel like I released it yesterday.
Anytime you play Call Angola, the original version, that was the remix.
Right.
It's people that
pandemonium.
beat down the fence kind of thing. So we and so we're talking about now. We are saying now foundation revival. You know what I mean? We are glad for the reggae revival, and we are with the reggae revival, and they have the dub movement, and all of that is great. We're not afraid to say it, because we want people to come and do it. You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. The foundation. All right, can I tell you something? When was the last time? Have you been to Dubwise?
No, I was supposed to be there last night. Never made it.
Okay.
Leela Ike, I'm so sorry, my friend. I was supposed to come down there. I didn't get to make it.
Man, she's awesome, isn't she?
She's dope. One of my favorites.
That's cool.
I have her on
man.
my podcast, actually,
cool,
so go check it out.
Why did you bring her up? And we have so much other things to talk about, man. I like her so much. I'm saying.
I love
you know what
Leela.
All right. But anyway, Dubwise, in my opinion, and I'm no spokesperson for them, but in my opinion, it has changed from the raw Dubwise style. It's gone more foundation style now. Wow. To hold people, because I know I've never played it down there, but I've visited a lot. As I said, I don't try to be the one. I have my mission to just do my thing on the radio and whatever, right? But I'm saying though, in my mind, sometimes I was like, man, if I should have played on a song, and I'm not bragging, I said, but I mash up this judgment. And that might sound like I'm bragging, but there's a reason why I said that, because I said, if you love dub, you must love foundation.
The vibes, the energy,
And if you never heard foundation before, but you love dub, when you hear the foundation, you're gonna love foundation.
Yep.
And now, so said, so done. Especially bringing like a Just Stream into the picture.
Big up Just Stream.
Yeah, man, they might get a dub, but they might get some serious foundation.
It's necessary to merge.
It's a foundation. So it's a foundation. We're not saying a creator. It's been there, but I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Look at George Nook's latest effort, his latest album. He redid Dennis Brown's Love Light. If you're not playing it yet, just take a quick listen.
I got it. That's who released that? Tads?
That Love Light by Dennis Brown was already bad. You know,
Yeah.
And the
you know
bass line
George
and
Nooks
everything.
already.
And George Nooks stuff.
Yeah.
Man. So I'm just saying, Bridget said, Foundation, it's just sweet. Foundation is when you go to the concert, and even if you don't know which artist is coming, and you hear the drum roll of the Foundation song, everybody start gather towards the stage.
Something's about to happen.
Yeah, something's about to happen.
Yep.
That's foundation. That's the foundation reggae right there. You know what I mean? So, and we're not leaving out the modern, and we're not leaving out the rockers. We're working. So that's the whole philosophy is to put our stamp in the culture by honing talent. You know, not just one talent, you know, but these are our two signatures right now.
I like it. And I like the approach too, pretty much is put them together for the onset, and then so one hand washes the other to give each other strength.
Yeah.
What I also dig about this situation pretty much is the professionalism that you guys are going to bring to the record industry, which I'm not afraid to say is lacking. You know what I mean? Ethics and just professionalism is something that I don't think is a prerequisite for most others. I know you guys, that's the forefront of what you do. So artists can feel comfortable knowing that, you know what, if I go work with Whirlwind, professionalism is there. Again, more companies allocate a lot more money to marketing than they do to product development, because marketing is that important. So for lack of a better word, you're going with a company whose forte is marketing, is getting you out there.
Definitely.
So you can't lose left, right, or center. So I'm digging that. If I was 25, boy.
That's the whole reason why I'm saying that. We are getting calls left, right, and center. When I keep saying this because I said when politicians call us and saying that for the upcoming election, you know, they're saying that if you do the kind of work that you do, I was about to say something but specific, but I won't.
Right.
They say if you can do what you do in the industry, you know what I mean? You know, what can you do for us? Can you imagine what you can do for us? Wow. You get what I'm trying to say? That's the kind of approach, you know, and people whose their careers kind of like on a limb, like they're calling us and say, hey, can you write a book and let me tell you a story?
Can you? Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because you know how to funnel that resurgence, and again, being the background is marketing, a company can't go wrong. Yeah, what's Whirlwind looking for in an artist? Outside of the two you already got.
You mean in any artists that we are working
with?
Yeah, of course.
What are you guys looking for in artists?
Well, we're looking for them to just be themselves in terms of their talent, and we'll do the rest.
I love it.
We will do the rest.
So come to the table with the intangibles, which we can teach you, which is the talent, your professionalism, of course, but we can always work with you, and the rest of it is up to us.
We're going to produce you. We're going to arrange you.
Right.
We're going to hone you. But we're going to do it naturally. We're going to allow you to kind of be yourself, and we chip around the diamond that we know that we saw when we signed you. We know you're a diamond, but you're probably a little rough.
Got to polish it up.
A little polishing in certain areas, you know what I'm trying to say? And direction and support spiritually and otherwise too, you know what I mean? Right. I could go ahead and say some other things too. I mean, Whirlwind is making sure that the artists are okay even before they are.
I dig it.
You feel me, Reggie? I don't want to go it like that, but I'm just saying, you know what I mean?
I like it.
Yeah, you know, because as I said, that's why I'm glad you started off the way you started off, because, I mean, if Whirlwind is sitting down at his desk and saying, boy, I don't like the fact that I read in the Star that some children that go to that particular school are not getting lunch. That's what's on the CEO's mind.
And if he's feeling that way about somebody who is no business relation, how you gonna feel about?
That's why I'm bringing up. That's why I brought it up.
I dig it. Now, here's a question that a lot of times.
No, you know why I'm not leaving Whirlwind, right? You know what I'm saying? It's been all these years, man.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
And when I tried things with other people in this community, they always fail.
Right.
And I'm not going to brag, but it's like they say, Lion, I know that you're the expert. Let me talk to you. But then they always end up wanting to do it how they want to do it, yet still they ask me to work with them. With Whirlwind, the professional, he allows me to do my thing.
Because that's your avenue of expertise.
And we have never have a failure. Never.
You do what you do. I was out to dinner with my wife once. This old couple came up to us, right? You know, old people love to give advice.
Yes.
So they're like, you know what makes our relationship last? And I went to the standard, yes, dear. And they're like, nah, we let each other do what we're good at.
There you go.
The guy said, if your wife's good at cutting the lawn, which I refuse to have my wife go and cut.
But I understand the point.
Let me do it. You know what I mean?
Of course.
And if I am the guy that's good in the kitchen, let me do it.
Of course.
And that's the same thing. If they come to you and that's your avenue of expertise, let them do it.
Virgin, at some crucial decisions sometimes when it comes to, like, even since the record company, part of it. And I'd, reach back out and I say, hey, what do you think?
Right.
Anything you say, no lion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, all right. Just lion, just make sure the thing well
Just
sort
make sure
out.
the thing sort out.
And that's what I'm dealing like. So I'm just saying that energy to work with a company like that, it is always great.
That doesn't come light though. That's because there's a trust in what Lion does.
There's a trust in what Lion does, and there's a loyalty to, in a certain kind of a way, that he is trying to teach that loyalty by being that loyal
Being
person.
loyal himself.
Because there are many people that have come to him and say, why do I have to go through Lion? I love it, you see. You know why I love it, Bridget? I love it because you see them see the Rastaman in it.
Yeah.
Them don't really know, a lot of them in this community don't really know who this Rastaman is.
Right.
They don't know that I probably went to the same schools they went to or better. They probably don't know that I lived in the same neighborhoods. I just Rastafari, I didn't even choose Rastafari. Rastafari just chose me. I tried not to be a Rasta many times. I'm confessing that. You know what I mean? But it's just me that. You know what I'm trying to say? And
bigger than you.
it's bigger than me, and I'm saying, you know what I mean? So, we're not worried about certain things. You get what I'm trying to say? It's that whole energy, that whole philosophy, that's what keeps me loyal. That no matter how busy I am, when certain phone call come within whirlwind, I say, yeah, whirlwind time. Because that loyalty that they give to us.
I love it.
You have to give it back.
And the people that are going to be signed to Whirlwind they see that. That's going to be something that's going to work for them also. Yeah. Here's a question that nobody asks.
Family. We're trying to build a nucleus. We're trying to build a nucleus.
Yeah, which is rare.
To represent what we'd love to see in Jamaica and the world.
Wow.
If you over what I'm trying to say, which is what we really should be.
But it's not relegated to just Jamaica though. There's not you're not opposed to signing an artist that lives in Fort Lauderdale or Miami.
Of course not. And even House of Dancehall, it's an international brand.
Nice.
Just imagine a smaller version of a Jamaican style hard rock in terms of different things in there. We have theater in there. We have more than one venue in there. Right. We decided to use House of Dancehall as the name, even though reggae is bigger, because we're trying to get that House of Dancehall name fully established in a certain way. And some people might say, Lion, dancehall name is established. Yes and no. When you say reggae, that is fully associated with Jamaica.
The whole world knows.
When you say dancehall, it is not totally.
Yeah.
You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. That is very true.
And I don't travel as much as the CEO, and he goes to some kind of places, and he's saying that the dance hall is bringing in the prime minister because he has different meetings he go to, whatever. So, like I don't know if it was Ireland or Iceland or some kind of land, something.
Right.
He was,
One of them cold spots.
Yeah, I can't keep up with it. And he was like, Lion, can you believe it? That I'm sitting down with the dignitaries and the prime minister and the president, this, that, and it's dance hall. They're all white people in Europe somewhere, you know what I mean? Doing the thing.
You would never believe.
You'd never believe they're coming out to dance hall. You know what I mean? Dance hall music.
Power, man.
Yeah. You know what I'm trying to say? But at the same time, you say go next door to another European country and they don't want to hear nothing about dance hall. It's just all reggae. Because you know how Europe is really. But at the same time, so he's doing his thing. We're doing our thing to kind of because people can steal it. I used to work before the CD companies were out. I used to work for the one called FYE that used to be Specs Music. I used to be a manager for one.
Yeah. I used to go in there and get my CDs on a regular.
And the amount of people that would Sean Paul was hot then. Still hot enough, but I'm saying really hot then.
Right.
And you'd never believe it, the amount of people, non-Jamaicans of course, that came in there asking for the hip hop artist Sean Paul. And there was an artist, or there is a hip hop artist called Sean Paul.
From Atlanta.
Yeah. But that's not what they wanted. But that's what I would go for. I could not believe that they wanted Sean Paul.
Yeah.
But then when I bring them this, I said, oh, you mean the Jamaican?
Right.
He ain't Jamaican. He Puerto Rican or something. I said, so I start to school him. You know?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying that's how easy.
I know what you mean.
We take it for granted, but that's how easy
We do.
it can slip through our hands.
We do, and then we sit back and complain because we're not doing it well. That's the other thing, again, is that I'm excited because I feel like you guys will do it well, and right now it's not being done well.
I wanted to quickly say, House of Dancehall, we're planning to open others across.
Across Jamaica?
That too. But like Miami, New York,
Really?
London.
What?
That's the vision.
I'll tell you what. Give me a little bit more about House of Dancehall because it's not like we're not talking about Whirlwind anyway.
It's Whirlwind.
So
It's Whirlwind.
Give me a brief synopsis of what they do at House of Dancehall. What the vibes is.
Well, basically, House of Dancehall now is supposed to capture the entire Jamaican our culture in one place as a venue for dancehall. You have a place in there called ARC, African Roots and Culture. So that's more the cultural side. Monday nights. What's the brethren name now? I can't remember his name now. He does a Dub Nation,
iNation. Okay.
That's where iNation does his
And this
thing.
is all in the same locale, same spot.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to say that it's not as big,
Right.
But it's and then in there we have a theater venue as well, and we have an outside venue as well. Wow. You get what I'm trying to say?
Wow.
But we kind of just work with the House of Dancehall name because Whirlwind is a conscious company anyway, and I'm proud of my association with even the fact that we have amongst us the most controversial dancehall artists.
Right.
But Whirlwind has only worked with the positive.
I dig it.
Of that.
From the book all the way up.
And we're not here to from the book. And we also do the official Vibes Cartel clothing line, the VK line, from scratch to finish. Wow. Doing the signature that's on the shirts and stuff to the I forgot to say a name, I don't know, the B rider shots and stuff and the PP shots and them kind of things.
Right.
So yes, I'm not but when I say positive, no, meaning that the book is positive. We also produced the CD, The Voice of Jamaica, that also charted on the Billboard.
Wow.
For Vibes Cartel.
Wow.
The book, that CD that went with the book. As a matter of fact, yeah, the CD went with the book because the book came out first.
So Whirlwind is a new label technically, but we're not new to this.
We're not new to this,
Not new to this.
Not new to this, definitely. So, you're going to get the great food there as well. So we have a restaurant, we have a theater venue, we have we have a dance hall, we have a roots and culture.
I get what you mean, though. It's a hard rock kind of vibe.
We're trying to we're building our thing, vision. And I use
that's
the word,
needed here, though.
I use the word nucleus for a reason. It's coming here, though. I'm talking to you.
Yeah. It's so
coming.
needed
It's
here.
Coming.
I
It's
can't
coming.
wait.
It's coming. It's
I
coming.
can't wait. I
It's
can't
coming.
wait.
It's
I can't
coming.
wait.
It's coming. It's coming.
My love one, I'm going with it.
It's coming.
I dig it. I like what's going on. Here's a question that nobody ever asked, because here's the deal. When it comes to business, when it comes to music, when it comes to the record labels, we know what we want. We also know what we don't want. What type of artists? And the reason I say that is because a ton of people are looking on.
Mm-hmm.
Free advice. You're a consultant. You be giving out free advice all the time.
I do that. That's how I became a paid consultant. By giving it free all the
giving out
time,
free
and
advice.
then I got known for it.
What are we not looking for? What in this industry, this music industry, there's a lot of things that we say we need to do to get the job done. Let's drop some jewels on the people that are looking at what do we need to stop doing in order to get this thing to work.
You're asking humbly, so I'm gonna keep it real.
Keep it real.
We need to stop going at each other in a negative way. We need to stop this crab in the barrel mentality. It does harm to even the vocals that they are trying to sing. It does harm. It creates disharmony in more ways than one. There is enough in the universe for everybody. I can never be a G. Cole, even if I wanted to be. I mentioned some people that I look up to from a broadcasting standpoint. I could never be a Winston Barnes.
Right.
I'm not trying to be.
Right.
But I admire his broadcasting style. So I'm saying that, we don't have to compete. Look at even a race and everybody's running. We all can come in at the same time, It's just your effort and your training, your background. I don't know if that was a good example.
Right, but I get you.
But I'm saying, even when you look at it from an infinite standpoint, you really are the money, the value. I'm going to brag a little bit. If I was not in the music industry, I don't know where I'd be today in terms of what I'd be doing in life. I know that I'm a person that thinks a certain kind of a way.
Right.
I know that probably this was part of the journey that I had to take to be the person that I needed to be to bring the message that I am bringing.
Right.
That's part of my journey. You feel me? Because I've been through some things that it's like, a lot of my friends were like, man, Lion didn't have to go that route and it didn't have to go through that. But, at the end of it all, I said to myself, I'm glad I went through that. Because now I know how to deal with that and help other people deal with it, and which it seems like that's my life. It's a testimony.
Experience teaches wisdom.
It's a testimony. I don't know how I ended up there again.
But it's jewels, man. It's jewels, and a lot of people out there learning from you right now. A couple of questions, and like I said, we going over a little bit, whatever. I've had a couple of panels in here trying to address some topics, specifically for the South Florida area, but I'm sure people in other places can relate. Despite the plethora of talent that we have here in South Florida, there's Grammys on the mantelpieces, there's plaques on the walls. Why do we struggle to break artists in South Florida?
I heard you alluding to that in the promo of this interview. And I think South Florida has done pretty well.
In terms of breaking artists? Like whom?
Or facilitating, or, you know, the reason why I'm being hesitant is because it's also debatable.
True.
But, you know, look at Taurus Riley. But some people say, no, Lion, he had to go to Jamaica eventually. I hear them, but we honed Taurus Riley in South Florida.
Right.
I say we because I was one of them, the younger one, but I was one of them. It's like you can give the respect to Jamus and some of those older ones. But when I came into South Florida 18 years ago, he was one of the first people that I met through his the manager at the time, a brethren named Paro. Anybody listening to this conversation know that, you know, once I know a Paro, I know the thing. You know what I'm trying to say? And he had a brethren he used to par with who used to be the one that they were really pushing. His name is kind of missing me right now, but they kind of look alike too. But he's the one they were best of friends, you know. And Taros I used to do, you see all that those reggae things that doing on the beach. I was one of the original people doing it down there before my brethren, before my brethren Lanso. You know, that Fourth Dimension band that is now just even the Counteract crew. I was the first person in the Caribbean community to book them.
To book a non-Caribbean band.
To book a non-Caribbean band, that white reggae band right there.
Right. They don't go by Fourth Dimension no more?
They broke up. And they're not. So Just Steve, the leader, is now Just Steve in the Counteract crew.
Okay. I didn't even know that.
You didn't even know that.
Nah, I guess I've been off the scene too long.
Yeah, so I used to do that thing down on the South Beach there and thing. You know what I mean? So, you know, I've been around and I understand what is going on from a different standpoint.
So it can happen.
Bridget, it has happened. What I wanted to say is that Taurus used to come down with his CD and sometimes, you know, hold the mic and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And, you know, I've always respected him. And I was one of the few people when he came with a CD, I was gladly playing it because it was like saying some things that I wanted to hear. A lot of people here liked him, you know, but he was going the Rastafari way.
He was going hard.
You know. What was one of the songs that I really like to play again? I'm not remembering right now, which is a shame, but that CD called Challenges. Barbara Shear. You said it. Yeah, that's it. And there were some others on there too, on that same album there. That album before him Bust.
That album was hard.
I used to play that album a lot on WAVS Radio, man.
A lot of people went back to that after Parables. After they heard Parables, they went back to Challenges. Like,
so in my opinion, I know some got bust, quote unquote. But in my mind, I'm like, yo, look at all of this stuff that was going on here with him.
But it seems like the talent is almost like, and I always use the analogy of the Miami Dolphins. It's like everybody that leaves the Dolphins goes somewhere else and does better. But we're talking, when I had the conversation, somebody mentioned Glenn, right? But then when I spoke to Glenn said, nah, he got his break in New York. You know what I mean?
It's always debatable, man. But people are people, and people travel and do things. I'm gonna claim Itana, man. When I just came into this community, Itana was unknown doing her thing, but I knew about her. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, the daughter, the bud, still in.
I remember.
And then she's another one that took a little trip to Jamaica, and then boom.
Do what they do.
But I'm saying it was honed right here. Look at Bling Dog. What was his name before that? Ricky Rudy. You know what I'm saying? Then him go to Jamaica, and him change his name Bling Dog.
Right.
But once again, it was honed here. Him go to Jamaica to learn the thing.
So would you say that in the process of getting out there, going to Jamaica is an imperative part of the process?
I wouldn't say it is.
If they don't go,
I'm doing so they have to go, because I'm going to give you an example now of an artist that a lot of people in Jamaica don't know about him, but a lot of people in the dance hall, reggae world, worldwide know about him. He honed this craft right here in South Florida. None other than Honorable.
I'm going to say Honorable.
Mannerable.
I knew you were going to say Honorable. And yes.
And I'm proud of his accomplishments.
I'm very, very proud of him.
He is one. I look at him many times and tell him, and him just smile. Because he knows that it's the truth. I said, Honorable, if you go to Jamaica, them boys don't can't chat to you.
Honorable
I said long time.
Yeah, Honorable's
I'm trying to say, but he does not go that direction. He go down the visit and do
his own lane.
But he's sticking them own lane.
I dig it.
You know what I mean? But yo, when the man go Nigeria and certain places, and you know,
because he has what I some people say, oh, this band has the international sound. Honorable has the international view.
Of course,
he sees reggae music as world music. We only say reggae music is world music because iTunes forces us to do so. You know what I'm saying? And I'm thinking that, but we think of reggae music as Jamaica music. Honorable sees it as world music.
Yeah.
That's why there's so many of the collaborations. And I always joke with him and say, yo, you're the hardest working man in show business because he's always at it from 5 in the morning.
I respect him.
Honorable's dope.
I respect
Honorable's
him.
dope.
But Bridget, I want to say something though, that the music business, and we could talk about others too, right? But we gave you a few examples there, right? It can happen for anyone.
Right.
You have to do the work. There's some great talent in this town. I play them all the time because they are great talent. I don't only play them because they are in town. As a matter of fact, recently, I don't like to use the word local because there's a negative connotation to it, right? But recently, a talent that resides here in South Florida linked me because they heard that I played their song. I'm not saying it's a male or female because I don't want to give up the person like that. You know what I'm saying? Because they're probably even listening right now.
Gotcha.
You know? And the person linked me, and I had to explain to the person, which that person is not the first I did it to a person. I mean, this kind of explanation. Oh, Humberland, give thanks, man. You play my song and give thanks for the strength, and, you know, I'm looking forward to more strength. And I said, I'm not giving you any strength. I didn't give you a strength.
Right.
No disrespect. I love the song.
Right. That's why I played it.
That's why I played it. I'm not trying to give the community a strength when I do that. I try to give the community a strength in a different kind of way, not when it comes to the talent. I don't give strength, brethren.
Right.
I didn't give G. Cole no strength, brethren.
It ain't no strength, it's the music.
It's the music. I didn't give Jagadia a strength. If Jagadia is my brethren, but Jagadia wasn't doing what they were supposed to do, they couldn't have come and got an interview from me on my show. Crazy.
Right.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So I have best friends that are trying.
But if it ain't there, it ain't there.
If it's not there, it's just not there.
And I hope they understand.
I hope they understand that. You know what I'm trying to say? So, you know, I don't do favors in the music from that standpoint. You get what I'm trying to say? I'm looking out for good music, great music. You know what I mean? But I'm saying though that, you know, there are certain things that are still always going to be a part of the reggae industry. It's very simple. It's 101 in my opinion, but a lot of people are trying to quote unquote bust without doing this, and you can. But this is a basic right here. Still produce that one good album every year, whether you have a hit song on it or not. Yes. That is your ID. Even though it's not selling.
Explain that one. When you said the one good album without, even if it doesn't, let's
what I mean by that is to say, I was going to call in, but no, Norman, don't do that. For example, I'm here in town and I'm a good singer and I have probably a couple songs here and there. You know, you call the stations every day hoping that they'll play your music for you to bust. You're not on social media promoting it consistently enough, or you don't have a good marketing plan or whatever. But you're just saying, how come they're not bussing? But you still get to hear play Humberland, play you, other disc jock play you, but you're still not getting that kind of vibration. You need to organize yourself. You need to do an album. The first 3 songs that you did that's kind of out there, put it together. Nowadays, it's easy. You don't have to put it on a CD. You can put it in an email, make an EPK, electronic press kit. Not you, I'm talking to.
No, I got you.
And an email, get Humberland or whoever else email it and make a presentation.
Keyword there's presentation. I take that.
You get what I'm trying to say
That's
to you?
That's missing.
But in my opinion, I wouldn't even worry about EPK. If I'm an artist right now, I just want to do an album with at least 12 to 14
quality songs.
12 quality songs. You understand? And songs that I know that people are going to like it, whether they like me or not.
Right.
That's how you do your thing. That's how you should do your thing.
Right. Instead of searching for, because what I see a lot of people doing is, it's almost like they sit at home, listen to the songs that are hot, and try to replicate. No. Instead of just saying, you know what, I'm going to put together a nice quality body
of work. That's the idea. Because when you have that now, you can also eat a little food from selling it. But I'm saying it's a nice presentation, and then you have certain things statistically under your belt. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, I have 3 albums, blah, 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 blah. Now you can go talk about doing a tour to some promoter in Nigeria, for argument's sake, or Australia, whatever. That
you got a resume.
They like this. You have a resume. They like the sound. So even though you're not Bob Marley, you know, I'm trying to say, or whatever. They say, oh, this is a nice reggae artist. It sounds good.
Yeah. Because they're not that, and you're so right when you say that, because most other places outside of us, it's not based on the name, it's based on the music.
There you
So
go.
because I know many artists right now that are overseas, they're not big over here.
There you go.
Because overseas they're not necessarily looking at the name as we are and as Jamaica is and stuff like that. So that's very I think that right there is definitely
Still do that album, you know, and put yourself in a position where you're always doing what you have to do to stay prepared.
I got you.
You get what I'm trying to say? And next thing that the artists have to do, this is not only South Florida, this is in general, but we're talking about South Florida here.
Right.
You know, all right, we know you're a good singer and stuff like that, but if I put you on a show, you're not gonna bring your name or likeness, no matter how much I promote this show, it's not gonna bring 500 or 1,000 people to this place. So when you're trying to charge me, you know, a certain price, that is, you know, that I cannot make that back at the gate from your name. You know, you're being ridiculous.
So be rational business wise.
Be like Bob Marley when it comes to that. Bob Marley played a lot of places that he hardly got any pay. Bob Marley did a lot of small venues, which eventually became his big audience. When they did the big concert in Boston,
They're the ones that's there.
But the bars that he used to go to, 50 people, 100 people, 250 people, a lot of those tours. And when you see some of those tours, that's man that won't call some name though, that's some of those other artists that are constantly on tour. I've been on the road with them.
Right.
A lot of them is very small venues. And then a few of them are some big venues.
Couple festivals sprinkled in.
There you go.
A lot of little clubs.
You've been on the road, right?
Yeah.
So you know what I'm talking about, man.
It's the industry, and I think a lot of times too, people don't know that, you know, what's presented. A lot of times you see the presentation, because here's what's happening. Social media is also the killer too, you know, because you see when people are out there, when they do the small spot, right? There's no pictures that go up with that one. You see when they do the one festival. Then that's splattered all over social media.
Well, you know something, you just made a very good point again now. So that's probably part of the reason why some of these guys are scared to do the small spot, because it doesn't look good on social media.
It doesn't look good on social media.
I don't know, man, but they got to find a way, because, you know, we could go in many directions with this, but I wrote an article once that got published in the National Weekly. I wrote more than one that got published, but this particular one about Promotions 101, that reminds me what we're talking about right there, whereby a lot of promoters too mess up the industry. Because I mean, I thought that Promotions 101 is have a budget.
Right.
They don't even have a budget.
Wow.
You get what I'm trying to say to you?
Yeah.
And then now you have now, going back to the artists now, a lot of these artists are now trying to put on their own shows, which are good, but then they come now asking for favors. You can't work like that.
Right.
The favor should be I give you a discount or something like that. The favor can't be like, yo, like, work with me because you don't know a Rasta thing and you don't know we are bridging, or you get what I'm trying to say? It can't work like that.
My lights got to stay on too.
It can't work. It just can't work like that. It just don't make no sense. So I'm saying that when people are saying that they're struggling, so I think it's great. I think it's better than the 52 states.
Right.
I think it's better than even New York.
Right.
I lived in New York. I don't know if you did.
Nah, I have never.
You know why? Because we have more options down here. I mean, even for reggae music.
Right.
You get what I'm trying to say to you?
Right. I'll tell you this. Well, I've this is the most optimistic I've gotten with regard, because for the most part, I asked the question because I honestly want the answer, and for the most part, majority of what you're bringing up, I haven't gotten before. So it is. I'm happy because the listeners can, you know, you don't want to get the Debbie Downer syndrome. It's kind of like every time I ask, is it there's an upside.
Of course,
and there's positive.
There's a bright upside to it. Once again, man, we have WAVS Radio that has galvanized this community all these years, more than 30 odd years now.
Right.
No other community has that, man. When I lived in New York, and even now when you go up there, whatever, you catch a 6 hour there, a 3 hour there, a 2 hour there, and that's great because it's better than Philly, which might be a little bit less, but kind of similar. I used to live in Philly too, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you go to California, it's kind of similar, an hour here, 2 hour there. Everywhere you go. Florida, you come, you have 24-hour reggae station. Caribbean station, WAVS, even though it's an AM station. And then now recently, for the past 3 years, you have 2 FM stations trying to make them become one. Small listenership area, but it covers the area where most of the Caribbean people are.
Gotcha.
Hey, but I'm just still saying, it is still, go try that in Atlanta. Yeah, you might turn it on a Saturday, you might find an AM station that's doing its thing. You go to Orlando, it's in Florida, but I'm saying, because I do marketing up there too.
So we've got something to be grateful for. I dig
we really have something to be grateful for, man.
I tell you what, talk to me. Drop some information about your social media, how they can get in contact with you, some whirlwind stuff. And I gotta drop this joint. This the whirlwind version of the Angola joint. Because and I'm gonna be a little selfish. Nah, I'm gonna share it with them. I can't do that online. So you don't. Let me drop it first.
I think that you probably get something that I think you did not get, because I don't know what you're saying. Did you get something else?
I'm just saying. I got something. I got something.
All right, let me see what you got.
Let's see what we got. Keep it moving. Keep it grooving. Homegrown.
Okay, you did get something else.
Angola, this a call. Mama, books a year call. Listen up.
In a real life, God. Look now, I beg oh, yeah, oh, whirlwind I go blow them. Angola, up on my African Angola, Angola. Shamalang, Angola, hey.
Well, Angola go call on the books and say that. Be careful how you walk, no step no foot down in the truck, cause they will only send the cheese for the rat. And I get to use them one for cheer and a mark. And then we share out your life like a food too. No remember in the days the good what you do. No, you never grumble, no, you never screw. But now what tumble a wall, I drop down on you. Higher repatriation, it's a must. We can't do it with no bus nor no truck. I need a plane or a ship that tough. But in a Selassie, we keep focus.
No can come take Mama Africa from we again. No can come take Mama Africa from we again. No think no can come take Mama Africa from we again. No can come take Mama Africa. No can come take Mama Africa.
I said the blind must be led, the hungry shall be fed. Let go Babylon because the system dread. No butter for the bread. Listen when me said, the slave master you deserve a peg. So me I beg the youth the more of meditation. Just know yourself and then you seek salvation. A piece of love it should be your occupation. No matter make them all and pull you in a station.
Can't come take Mama Africa from me again. Who no think who no can come take Mama Africa from we again. No can come take Mama Africa from we again. Who no think who no can come take Mama Africa. Who no can come take Mama Africa.
Yeah. That one is a special. It's a special on the line. I don't know if you know, I got that. I Vladimir'd your computer. I got the hack in.
Yeah, man. Those are the debut.
Yeah.
Whirlwind Records' first production right there.
Wicked.
Most definitely. We decided to just wake up. We didn't have to wake it up. You just reminded me. But we decided to drop Briggy on it then.
Yeah.
Put it that way.
He's doing a thing.
You know what I mean? Because those are the two first. I said, let's do a little thing. You know, but look out for albums, one each, to start off with right now, coming up.
Any dates you're looking, or not yet?
Not yet. Not yet. And it's not like it's not planned, but I like to work with vibration and energy too.
I got you.
You know what I'm trying to say? I can say this much though. We are in the process.
Right.
Of dropping it. Of making the album, I should have said. And then once we're nearer into completing some more tracks, then we can put a date to it.
Get closer to the I got you.
You know what I'm trying to say? Because there are certain ideas that we can control from in-house in every way. And there are certain ideas that we have now for the albums that we might have to do some contracting work for. You get what I'm trying to say to you?
Absolutely.
This was done in-house, by the way.
Yes,
was done in-house, definitely.
So Whirlwind, productions in-house, musicians in-house, talents in-house, marketing is in-house,
wine in-house,
and if the artist is small, publishing is in-house, you ain't got to go branding.
Venue is in-house, TV is in-house.
I'm feeling like being an artist.
Remember, we were at owner of a telecommunications company, so the technology aspect is also still there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? So I don't think Scan and will come too from that aspect. He didn't give up on telecom. It's just that particular company.
Right.
You know, just kind of went away.
I dig it. Because all the things that we're talking about here, I see individual companies trying to do, not necessarily doing it to the best because that's not their avenue of expertise. Trying to partner up with a beverage company here, trying to partner up with a telecom company there. But right here, it's all in house.
Yes, and I noticed the names. Yes, we are a whirlwind group of companies. But look at Jamaica Online TV, Jamaica Spotlight, just to show you how whirlwind thinks.
Yeah.
It's not only capitalizing on the name, which yes, we capitalize on it when you think Jamaica, you Google JamaicaShoppingClub.com. It's a reason, but it's also a patriotism that is inside, that is embedded in whirlwind.
I love it. The pieces that people always are searching for is already here.
It is there.
Which is pretty much, how
there.
do I get this thing out to the world? 55 different avenues.
Definitely.
All within whirlwind.
All within whirlwind.
I'm digging it.
Yeah,
I'm digging it. Some big artists need to come knock off your door right now.
They're starting to already. I'm telling you the honest truth. They started to already, and we're not only going to work with them, but we're going to focus. It's like Jabooks is a big artist who is not a big artist. And then Brigino is a big artist who was never known. You get what I'm trying to say? You know what I mean? You know, I could say the same thing for both of them, but give Books more edge because he has one hit that came out. But he was still so unknown. Still, you know.
And still, because a lot of people know the song, but
and don't know who Jabooks is.
Well, they're about to.
They're about to right now.
Trust me, they're about to. Breeze, big up yourself. Thank you so much. Papa Bito, thank you so much. I got a lot of love coming in here. Let the Massive and crew know when and where they can find Homegrown.
Yes, indeed. Let me try the social media first. ZOPradio.com. In Jamaica, we say ZOP. In America, we say ZOPradio.com. You can also get us on ZPPradio.com. On terrestrial now, WZPP is 96.1 FM in Miami. And WZOP is 92.7 FM in Fort Lauderdale and surroundings. I'm on WZOP Radio, WZPP Radio, Mondays through Saturdays, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., doing a show called The Midday Meditation. On Wednesdays, I go until 1 p.m.
Right.
And then I'm at WAVS now, Mondays 3 to 6 p.m., Wednesdays 2 to 4 p.m. That's why I leave the other station at 1.
Right.
And that was before, so I just kind of hold that, you know what I'm saying? And then Fridays, I do the top 11, WAVS top 11 countdown, 3 to 4 p.m. on WAVS. So, yes, and WAVS social handle is Waves1170, WAVS1170.com. I promised myself that I'm going to start getting into my personal social media more.
Right.
I never really had a problem with it, but I'm just that kind of a person.
Right.
I was never really into promoting me. Everybody knows that I've always promoted other people.
Right.
And in so doing, I ended up kind of somewhat promoting myself.
Right,
but that
right.
was by default.
I got you.
You might be wondering why I'm saying this right now, but I recently fell in love, but with Norman Lawrence.
Wow. I love that.
And I'm serious. I was never in love. I'm not saying that I never loved myself,
Right.
but I was never in love with myself.
Right.
But I'm realizing now that, you know, for me to continue to do what I'm doing right now, because of the love that I'm getting,
Right.
and the feedback that I'm getting, I start to go more into myself so I can be more of what the people see in me.
I got you.
And I realize that the only way to do that is to love me more, because that's what they are loving.
Right.
You get what I'm trying to say to you?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah,
sometimes you have a relationship with a woman or whatever and it's not working. You really need to fix yourself a lot of times, you know.
Because
You
it
know what I
allows
mean?
you to appreciate what they're appreciating.
And if it's not going to work, you're going to attract what the new you became.
Yeah, I dig that.
You know what I'm trying to say? So with that said, I will now share the fact that I'm Humble Lion 67 for Instagram. I love Instagram, by the way. It is, even though I'm not active in terms of posting, I'm active in terms of checking out the homepage. Why? Because I like the fact that my Instagram feed is like the law of attraction. It's what I want to see.
Right.
Either that, like uplifting things, like from Jim Rohn and people like that, or it is like scripture, no matter what religion it is.
Right.
Even
As long
from
as it's inspirational,
Buddhist,
we with it.
There you go.
Right.
You know what I'm trying to say? Or something to do with vegan or something like that, or health, which I'm actively working on right now. Meaning, when I say health, like I've always been a vegetarian. I'm not a vegan. I'm not so tempted to be a vegan. I like vegetarian. I'm being honest, but I'm kind of thinking about the vegan thing. But I like the vegetarian thing more than the vegan.
Right.
Not for health reasons, for my personal reasons. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I've never been a person to exercise ever since I became an adult. So now, for the past month, since summer started, so it's more than a month. Since summer started this year, I dedicated myself every morning. I'm now getting up at 5 o'clock no matter what time I come in. Right. And I've seen a difference. And
get some exercise.
Oh man, I'm doing some just simple push-ups,
right, sit-ups,
right, side bends,
right,
planks, right, tiger stretches, simple stuff. You know what I mean? And getting into, ever since I started that, I've not rushed out without praying. And that is one of the beautiful things.
Personal growth is important.
George William Carver, you know who that is, right?
Mm-hmm.
I read his story and I was impressed when he said that. I am so backed up with my work today that I will have to go pray and meditate for at least 3 hours. Think about it. So that now said to me, we always knew how important prayer and meditation is, but and we know how many things George William Carver, by the way, people who don't know who he is, we can Google him easily, but one quick thing is that he's the one that discovered the many different uses for peanut.
Peanuts, the peanut butter, man.
You name it.
So
you know, he's that guy.
He's that guy.
You know what I mean? But, and then he came up with many other inventions and other things like that. Right. But, it amazed me that he thought like that. You know, because the average person, we're so caught up. Father, thank you for this day, blah, blah. Run, gone.
Ritual.
And then a lot of us don't even do it because we don't have the time. It's like we just get up and brush bed and, Father, thank you for the food. You know what I mean? But no, man was made to serve God. Call me what you want to call me. I preach whatever. I'm just saying.
But it is the truth.
Man, that's what, when he put us in the garden or whatever story you want to, we were made to serve him.
Right.
This man was made to serve God. It is Satan or whatever you want to call it that took us out of the garden and caused us to be living in this concrete jungle.
Right.
Call me lazy. I don't think we were made to get up and go to work. I don't believe that. I believe the work we're supposed to do is to get up and take care of ourselves. Like if you plant yam, you reap yam and eat that and you eat that. You get what I'm trying to say? And let's put it back into modern world. And I strongly believe, call me lazy if you want, I strongly believe that I should attract the things that I want to me. You get what I'm trying to say to you? Radio takes up a lot of my time, and that's why it seems like. But I'm saying I really do a lot of thinking, and then I just jot it down, and it manifests. I'm serious.
Wow.
You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. So one of the things I'm really focusing on right now is to manage my time better, because I know that I can really accomplish a lot more.
It is, time management is important, and that's the way we've got to go. I definitely think that, again, a lot of I got to have you back on, you know. We got to come back another day, because even the whirlwind, there's a whole lot more,
of course,
that we could get into. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking to Mr. Humberland here, aka Mr. Norman Lawrence. Again, check him out. Check him out on social media. Let's get his subscriptions up. Let's get his followers up, and the whole nine. But there's a whole lot that you guys are onto and will accomplish with this. And this platform is here for you. So if there's anything at all that you need to address, anything you have an artist you need to promote, whatever the case may be, bring them through. My goal, my joy is to share new music, new information with the masses. So
give thanks, man. Can I do a real quick shout out to Tampa?
Big up Tampa.
I know that you have a lot of listeners.
Yes.
So the hit play that premiered in South Florida, and we thank South Florida, is going to Tampa on the 22nd of this month at the University Area Center.
Wow.
It's coming from my head, so please, but I'm sure that is correct.
Send me the flyer too.
Yeah, and we're going to Wakiva High School in Orlando the following night.
Okay. So Tampa and Orlando.
Tampa and Orlando, 22nd, 23rd.
All right. I got some folks in Orlando that's been asking about it.
Yeah, so I just wanted to let people know that.
I love it. And ladies and gentlemen, trust me, I'm vouching for that play. It's off the hook. I had people come from out of town to see it here, but guess what? It's coming into your neck of the woods. And there you have it. Thank you so much for tuning in. It has indeed been a pleasure. Please be sure to subscribe to the podcast, Homegrown with G. Cole, available now on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and all your podcast platforms. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel also, and check out the website, homegrownwithgcole.com, to listen and for all things homegrown. Remember, be safe, be kind, and be good to each other. My name is G. Cole, and this is Homegrown.
Nakikinika sa música, Homegrown with G. Cole.
Estás escuchando Homegrown con G. Cole.
您现在正在收听的是 Homegrown with G. Cole.
You're listening to Homegrown with G. Cole.
Remember, all the music played here on the podcast Homegrown with G. Cole is available on iTunes, Spotify, and all your digital retailers. Please support the artists.
I'm gonna this a call. Mama, books a year call, listen up.
In a real life, God. Look now. I beg on. Hey, oh.
When Angola go call on the books and say that be careful how you walk, no step no foot down in the trap, cause they will only send the cheese for the rat. And I get to use the one for cheer and a mark. And then we share out your life like a food too. No remember in the days the good what you do. No, you never grumble, no, you never screw. But now what tumble a wall, I drop down on you. I hear repatriation, it's a must. But we can't do it with no bus nor no truck. I need a plane or a ship that tough. But in a Selassie I we keep focus.
So me bunny jack from Babylon. Me not take no chat from Babylon. Oh, cause I you corrupt the ghetto youths within wicked dark dirty Babylon. When we walk me trample down Babylon. Talk and ride down Babylon. Who no ball be there with your clans and plans. One come trap in the bang. Who no think who no can come take Mama Africa from me again. No who no can come take Mama Africa from me again. Who no think who no can come take Mama Africa from me again. No who no can come take Mama Africa from we again.
I said the blind must be led, the hungry shall be fed. Let go Babylon because the system drain. The butter for the bread. Listen when me say the slave master you deserve a peg. So me I beg the youth the whole of meditation. Just know yourself and then you seek salvation. A piece of love it should be your occupation. Nobody make them all and pull you in a station.
Can't come take Mama Africa from me again. Who no think who no can come take Mama Africa from we again. No who no can come take Mama Africa from we again. Who no think who no can come take Mama Africa from we again. Them no like when we are dinner deals. Them want we stay here fi pay them bills. When you think say you save, you are save little cabbage. Them alone account off the meals. It's an authentic reggae beat. Let me skank off the shoes off of my feet. I get 3 Peter touch, 2 Bob Marley, and the little berry sound sweet. Who no can come take Mama Africa from we again. Who no think who no can come take Mama Africa from we again. No who no can come take Mama Africa from we again. Who no think who no can come take Mama Africa from we again. So the bingy man a call Angola, call Angola, up on Mama Africa Angola, call Angola, call Angola, call Angola, up on Shashamala Angola, call Angola. Me burn the fire from Babylon. Not take no chat from Babylon. Cause are you corrupt the ghetto youths? We do no wicked that. Who know Babylon? When me walk I trample down Babylon. Talk and ride down Babylon. I let's say you know. Give voices unto the whole of the federation.
I'm going to this a call. Mama, books a year call, listen up.
In a real life, God. Look now. I beg on. Hey, oh. Whirlwind, I go blow them. All Angola. Up on I'm African. Oh.